Rydell, Georgia, for this big matchup in the Atlanta Open. Atlanta Fire taking on the Stallions X as the sun breaks through the clouds. And we're going to go to a pitch report with Aman Patel.
Time for the pitch report here at the Buttonviers Cricket Complex on field number 1. And you'll take a look at this wicket, and it's rather intriguing. Had some matches on it yesterday, but you come down here, and the thing that I noticed straight away are just these couple of splashes. And these dark spots, they're just a little wet. So it makes you think, okay, there could be a little bit of uneven bounce. This grass also, if I put my finger down, it starts to come up. And that's something that's also concerning. So expect the grass to start to dissipate. I reckon if you win the toss, you want to bowl first, take advantage of these wet spots as the sun starts to come out and conditions start to clear. Have a slightly bigger boundary there, but I don't imagine too many runs are scored on this wicket given the tricky conditions in the morning.
Well, you heard it there from Aman Patel. Let's take a look at how the toss went.
Toss time here in field number 1. Sunny Patel, the captain of the Atlanta Fire, Cheyenne Jahangir, the captain of Stallions X, and our umpire for the day. You've got the coin in hand. Sunny, give it a flip.
Head.
Call is a head, and it's come down tails. So, Sunny, you've won the toss. What do you like to do and why?
Yeah, we're going to bowl first.
Why is that?
There's a bit of moisture over here, and it seems it rained in the morning a bit, so we'll try and utilize the conditions.
Yeah, just one game for your boys yesterday, but 2 today. How do you manage that?
Yeah, we'll try and manage the workload. Let's see how the first game goes, and then we'll concentrate on the second game.
Any changes in your 11?
Yeah, Azim Charania goes out, and Viraj Wagala comes in the playing 11.
There you go. Good luck today, Sunny.
Thank you.
Cheyenne, tough luck with the toss. Had you have won it, what did you want to do and why?
We would have liked to bowl as well. It's a little bit damp in the morning, so that would have been our first choice. But batting first as well, nothing changes. We have the same lineup. We're going to go with the same intent and try to execute our plans, get some runs on the board.
Yeah, you guys played on this field yesterday. How much of an advantage is that for you guys?
It's good learning, so hopefully we can apply that in today's innings as well and hopefully produce good results.
Any changes in your 11?
We got the same lineup.
There you go. Good luck today, Cheyenne. That is the word from the middle. The Atlanta Fire, they have won the toss and they've elected to have a bowl.
Well, you saw it there. Atlanta Fire win the toss. They get their say. And today, I get my say on day 2 of the Atlanta Open. I am joined by Brian Walters.
Ned Hayes, good morning, sir. How are you?
A beautiful day here. Finally, we had a little bit of cloudiness before. We had a lot of rain over the evening, but we're able to start this one on time. It's just a beautiful day again here in Rydell, Georgia. Yesterday, we had some amazing games. And that sets up this incredible matchup between the Atlanta Fire versus the Stallions 11. This is almost in some way a rematch of Sunday's minor league cricket final if you look at these rosters.
Star-studded rosters. We looked at the schedule ahead of time and identified this game as one of the big early games of the tournament. The team winning this game will essentially take a leg up as you look through the standings. It's very early in the tournament, of course, but if you look at the current standings, it is going to be the Stallions X who are at the top of the lineup, followed closely by the Atlanta Fire. So essentially, the winner of this team, of this game rather, goes up firmly in the tournament. And under the circumstances where the team that won the toss, given the conditions, you know that they're going to want to bowl first. Atlanta Fire has a really good bowling lineup, good spinners, good pace attack as well, and then you'll see how that develops as you get through the day. We do have to note, though, that currently the outfield is bathed in sunshine, so that will help dry things up a little bit.
Absolutely. And Stallions way ahead in net run rate right now by way of a massive victory yesterday, chasing down 112 in about 12 overs. Brian, you were on comms for that. That was something special.
Off air, we all had our own opinions as to which over the match was going to end in. I don't think any of us in the commentary area thought that that would have gone 20 overs. And you have Cheyenne Jahangir leading from the front, 58 from, I believe, about 30 balls, 5 4s, 3 6s. You also had Sharad Lumba, who got them off to a fast start. They had 4 times the number of runs in the power play as their opponent did. So they were just off to a fast start. It was never going to be close, and a pretty dominating performance sees them at the top of the table.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, over at Field 4 yesterday, we got to see the Atlanta Fire defeat the Raiders Unlimited, chasing down 151 on a tricky wicket. And they had a couple of times it looked like they were out of the game, pulled themselves back into it with a wonderful partnership in the middle with Malik and Zishan Maksud, the two lefties, being the antidote for that Raiders Unlimited squad. And we see look how beautiful the pitch looks right now with those lovely stumps there. Brian, I think we're in for a really great game.
It is going to be a fantastic game. Just off to our left, you see the two umpires making their way to the middle. The umpires today are going to be Ravi Balasubramaniam and Eshan Mole, both from India. And I've seen them both before, both very good umpires, and you want to have good umpires. Not that you ever want to have bad umpires, Nate, but you want for, especially with a high-stakes game such as this one, to be adjudicated in such a way that you take that piece of the equation away. And you'll see the opening batters in a minute. I would suspect that it would also be the captain, Shayan Jahangir, along with Sharad Lumba. My suspicion is that's who will be opening the batting. But they'll want to, first of all, take maybe 2 or 3 overs to get a good read for the pitch. You heard from a man earlier that there are maybe just a couple of moist spots on the ground, heavy rain overnight. Ground staff has done a really good job at least getting this pitch in such a way that you can play. But there's no way to have that much rain and not have some impact beyond the pitch. So you'll want to see off that initial 2 or 3 overs, get a good sense of how the ball is coming onto the bat, and then go for your shots after that. That's I suspect that that's the approach that they'll take.
Well, just in the last hour, conditions have already improved tremendously here on field number 1. You mentioned the umpires. You see them on the screen right there. Robbie from the Atlanta area and Ishan from Northern Virginia. So Robbie was telling me that he expects when the sun comes out that this ground will improve dramatically. So I got to default to him as the local knowledge base. But we are waiting for everybody to come to the middle right now. And Brian, this Atlanta Fire team, they're red hot yesterday in a bit of trouble, giving up 150 to start and chasing it down after a couple of early wickets fell. So they continue their red hot streak. We've seen Lahiro Malanta with the gloves, but you got Jamar Hamilton in the team too. These guys, for my money, the 2 best gloves in the country. But yesterday, Jamar Hamilton was so much fun to watch on the boundary. We're going to see that again today. You guys are going to take a look at Pup running around, chasing the ball at the boundary.
Well, essentially, you're taking the core of the team that won the championship 400 miles up the road in Morrisville 3 days ago. And you've added Shadley Van Skalkvik, you've added Lahiro Malanta, and you've added Fanny Simhadre. So needless to say, that is a really, really strong unit. You have good pace bowling. You have tremendous spin bowling. Talked about the match on Sunday. Stephen Taylor, who, yes, he was injured, came to the party, led from the front as captain, even with that injury, played a very crucial innings. But for me, the biggest impact that he will have on this game, at least earlier on, is with his off spin.
Has to be with the off spin. He's good enough with his off spin to be put in the team and not counted on for his bat, as we saw throughout the Super 8. He didn't bat until the final, where he bravely took the bat and helped bridge the gap there in those middle overs. And yesterday he took the ball in the power play, went expensive early on, but recovered. And you see Sonny Patel right there, the captain of this Atlanta Fire squad. Just an absolutely beautiful day it's turning out here in Georgia. And it does look like we'll see Sharad Lumba and Shayan Jahangir with the bats to start off against Shadley Van Skalkvik.
Shadley Van Skalkvik will be a handful on this wicket. Talked about the fact that there is a little bit of moisture. The ball might not behave perfectly well in the first few overs. And Shadley Van Skalkvik is the perfect type of bowler to take advantage of those situations. So he's an outswing bowler to the right-handers, the 2 right-handed batters, Shayan Jahangir and Sharad Lumba. There's a lot of S's. Shayan, Sharad, Shadley Van Skalkvik. But he'll be bowling outswing. The stop ball that he bowls will be leaving the two right-handers going towards slip, and Lahiri Malanta there behind the stumps. You see Stephen Taylor, top left of his screen, will be looking to be able to take catches in that position with the ball leaving.
Absolutely. Shadley, it's so good in all phases of the game, particularly in the power play and in the death. Just an excellent option for this Atlanta Fire squad, who somehow even look even deeper in some ways than they did in the minor leagues.
Yep.
Another player to take a look at is Kamal Rabi, former Bangladesh Test cricketer. Bowled quite well in death yesterday for this Atlanta Fire squad as they tried to limit Raiders Unlimited. You get to look there at the ball slowing down a bit on this wet grass early on. You expect that to improve. Factors into the decision to bowl first.
No question. First delivery just played through the offside. Bowling a very full length on that one, Shadley Van Skalkvik. You want to bowl a full length earlier on because you want to give the ball enough time to swing. You don't want to overpitch it necessarily, so maybe he wants to pull the length back just a little bit so Shane Jahangir doesn't drive that easily. Want to keep him trapped on the crease without needing to commit to coming forward.
Full, over the top, goes all the way for 6 runs.
Yep. This umpire is signaling 4 from where you and I are. That certainly looked like it landed over the ropes.
Yeah, from where we are, it definitely looked like it landed over the ropes. We'll see if that's adjusted. Take a look at the replay here. Just very well struck. That was a flat hit ball. This boundary is not small, so he struck that firmly. I think that brings into question, that's why they probably thought it was a 4, because it was so low.
Well, they adjudged it to be a 4, so that certainly would be an issue to maybe the match management will be able to take a look at that and make that change later, because that ball definitely landed maybe about a foot or so over the ropes at deep extra cover. But that is a brilliant shot. Going over the top. Again, I mentioned just a little bit too full the first 2 deliveries. That third delivery that you just saw from Shadley Van Skalkvik, probably a better length to Shayan Jahangir.
Hit so flat and low that it has to be tough to judge where that went from the middle.
Great delivery.
Terrific. Just following Father Shea, as he steps across the stumps. The awareness of Shadley Van Skalkvik to understand what the batter's trying to do and find a solution for. You saw that pitch away from him. Terrific ball.
So we got confirmation. There are no reviews. So what should have been 6 will go officially as a 4.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Sure.
There's a wide.
Now, you prefer for that to happen in over number 1 as opposed to over number 20. Because obviously you have another 19 overs and now 2 balls to go before that impacts anything. But just something to pay attention to.
Totally acceptable considering everything. We won't hear about that probably until tomorrow when we talk to Stallions.
Yeah, it will not be an issue later on. If that's why you lost this game, don't point to something that happened 3 deliveries into the innings to make a case for anything.
Absolutely. And Shea, a couple of dots in the wide after the 2 and 4. This one scorched through. Fine leg. It's going to be a couple. And getting off to a good start here, this Red Hot Stallions X team. As you mentioned, Brian, they went really big in the power play yesterday. That's got to be a priority for this Atlanta Fire squad, is to maybe take a couple of wickets here in this phase.
You want to take wickets. You want to take advantage of the conditions. Not quite doing it yet here.
Ooh, this one flies through. It's not going to roll all the way to the boundary, though. Looks like 3 runs. Just the 2 runs.
Yeah, genuinely off the outside edge, getting through that slips cordon, and 2 runs close out over number 1. End of 1, 11 without loss.
Look there, the Atlanta Fire playing 11. That is quite some squad. What sticks out most to you, Brian?
Larry Melanta. We don't see a whole lot of him in my part of the country, in Texas, so I've always loved him as a keeper and as an aggressive left-handed batter. If you have the type of lineup where you can have a Jamar Hamilton as a keeper and you can play him in the field as a luxury because you have Lahiro Melanta behind the stumps, just a really, really strong batting lineup overall, and that flexibility at keeper is, I think, a huge asset.
Yeah, just an incredible squad. As you mentioned, Lahiru, I've always loved his batting, too. I like the versatility. He prefers to open the batting, but we know he can bat pretty much anywhere all around the batting order because he's good against pace, he's good against spin, he's creative. As you mentioned, very, very good with the gloves. Like you said, if you can put Jamar Hamilton on the boundary, which actually he's very good there, that is a luxury and a half. A lot of people consider Jamar to be the best gloves in the entire region. I remember Caribbean Cricket Podcast has said as much. I don't think that you can argue against that too much unless you talk about Lahiru.
New bowler Zishan Maksud, former Oman national captain, these days plying his trade right here in the U.S. Left arm orthodox. You'll see him later on with the bat if needed as a solid middle order, aggressive left-handed batter.
He's quite good yesterday with the bat. A big part of the victory, chasing down 151 on a difficult wicket. He starts off with 2 dots.
Sherrod Lumba, yesterday, the one game that they played, scored 39, got off to 39 from 20 balls. Really fast start along with Shayan Jahangir. And this pair will be looking to be very aggressive at the top of the order.
Whew. Lucky not to get any bat on that one as we got 3 dots to start Zishan's spell.
That's the typical left-hander's dream, pitching and leaving the right-handed batter. They're doing it with swing and with left arm spin because you want the ball to be going away from the 2 right-handed batters. You can do that with Shadley Van Skalvik's swing going away from the righties through the air, or you can do it with turn, Zishan Maksud, the left arm orthodox, pitching and having it leave. And so this is a really good start to his spell. 4 dots to start over number 2.
We'll see the bounce on offer here early on. Sherrod can't penetrate the circle there. Sherrod Lumba has been absolutely fantastic in minor league this season. Very good leader for that Baltimore Royals franchise. And that is a maiden over there for Zishan Maksud. What a comeback for this Atlanta Fire team.
Just what the doctor ordered after an expensive first over. 2 overs in the books, 11 without loss.
See a conversation happening there between the brain trust of this squad. Just planning out how to attack. One of the tactics that this Atlanta Fire team likes to use, I think, is delay.
Well, they can't delay too much. The game obviously scheduled for 3 hours and 30 minutes, I believe. And with the weather around, you don't ever want to take the chance that that would be adversely impacted. But a good start nonetheless. Now it's Captain Sunny Patel taking the ball, bowling from the southern end.
Bold. Father Shea has to go sit down. after 10 from 7. Huge, huge wicket in the context. Early on, Sunny Patel strikes.
Very first delivery, full. The length is key for me. Just full enough to induce the drive, but not quite full enough to be right at the pitch. So Shane Jahangir probably would have wanted to use his feet to get to that one. Looking at that replay, it looks like he played outside the line. That's curious. I'd be willing to see whether or not that was the googly. It didn't look like it off the, from an initial look, but he plays outside the line. That would seem to me to indicate that it would have passed, turning back into him, which would be the googly. Irrelevant, though. At this point, a really good delivery, and Shane Jahangir will have to take that walk back to the pavilion. Early wicket here is really key for the Atlanta Fire. 11 for 1.
Massive, massive wicket. Shea had to be the guy you got out after his innings yesterday with the half century in such a short amount of time. Shea's been absolutely fantastic this whole summer in minor league. When you talk about the best players in minor league this season, Shea is on a very, very short list.
I saw him personally in Grand Prairie score 200s, separate innings, of course, and the maturity with which he's batting. He's always been aggressive, but he seems to have tailored his approach to the situation. Here, not quite being able to pull it off. And now, Arikanantha, the youngster out of Houston, will be looking to see what he can do against Sunny Patel.
There you go. You see Pup racing to that, and the threat of his arm and speedy ability to get to the ball just limits that to 1.
Arikanantha, when he came in yesterday, came in with virtually no pressure. There were maybe, I think, 20 runs away from victory, and it was like over number 8. So he came in, he played a few reverse scoops. He was having fun. This is a different situation. He's naturally aggressive, but I think he needs to tailor his game to the situation to make sure he doesn't give his wicket away.
Yeah, Kanantha, a U21 for the Stallions X team. And it's going to come down to Sherrod Lumbo's maturity. So we've already seen 3 bowlers here in 3 overs for Atlanta Fire as they try to mix it up a little bit, keep Stallions X on their toes. We're building up dot balls. That builds up the pressure, allowing Sunny some options how to set up the batter. We saw him bowl Shea with a ball that didn't break away.
Oh, the brilliant over this one is just 1 run scored so far. Pulling things back. Remember, the first over from this end went for 11. But since that 11 balls have been bowled and only 1 run additional has been scored.
And that'll be another dot. He'll end it with 4 dots. A wicket and 1 run for the 3rd over. Stallions 11 slowing down to a halt, 12 for 1. Sunny Patel capitalized with the first ball of the 3rd. We've only seen 1 run across the last 12 balls.
Tremendous bowling, bringing things back. Thought slow bowling would have a major part to play in this match. By the way, earlier when I talked about the core of the Atlanta Fire and the pieces that you add, I did not mention Zishan Maksud. He's a pretty big piece of the puzzle. And Arikanantha is playing the reverse sweep.
Right away, he goes for that reverse sweep. He's not slowing down for anybody. We see this a lot, slip fielders. We see 2 of them right now. Stopped by Steven, didn't carry nearly far enough, but we see 2 slip fielders often with this Atlanta Fire squad. They like to put pressure on a team. They like to increase the pressure that's already there.
Well, Arcanantha is not feeling any of the pressure. 2 deliveries, 2 reverse sweeps in a row. So he's looking to get going. Sometimes your aggression can be your downfall. And you'll see that they've dropped the player now back to deep third. So that reverse sweep may not be the best of options for Arcanantha. I just prefer to see him push the ball into the offside, or into the leg side, rather. Huge gap out there. Just pick up a single.
There's a little bit more of that bounce that Zishan was extracting in his first over. And Arcanantha didn't want to reverse sweep that one.
Well, the reverse sweep is now a bad shot because there's a fielder back at deep third. That's why you would have wanted the reverse sweep in the first place, because there was nobody back there.
Ooh, this caught the edge, but didn't carry. Didn't carry to the point fielder. And once again, Zishan Maksud has yet to concede a run 10 balls into his day.
Boy, runs have dried up completely here for Stallions X.
Big. Very big. Huge shot from the youngster. 6 runs.
Well, earlier we talked about the fact that this 6 by Shine Jahangir was just slightly over the rope. The umpires thought it was a 4. No doubt about this one. Over the top of extra cover and hammered. It is actually over the fence. So that's a 65, make that a 73-yard hit to the rope, beyond the rope and over the fence. So that's probably close to a 90-yard hit from Arcanantha.
And it looks like we got Jamar Hamilton chasing it down out there. So Pup had to go play fetch. And what a shot. What a shot to, after 10 straight dot balls, you need to alleviate some of the pressure. They got 6 runs off of 1 ball there. So we're almost through the 4th over, and that's a third of your production already.
Exactly.
This one stays on the arm line. 6 runs from the over after 4. Stallions 11, or Stallions X 18 with a loss of 1. Continues.
It's a bit of an odd innings. A really expensive first over. And several dot balls and a big 6 from that last over. So, you know what? You do have some. In fact, I'm not sure exactly what the delay is here. You might have seen it. That might make it onto the socials, I think. That is a lovely sign.
Well, Sonny Patel ran all the way down the pitch to take a look at Sharad Lumba's point of view.
The funny thing was Sharad Lumba pulled out of his stance because of there was the action behind him. And Sonny Patel just kept going down the pitch.
Quicker there from Sonny, whipped away directly to the boundary fielder.
Yeah, so you don't want to, you mentioned Stephen Taylor's arm. He is probably best known as being an absolutely brilliant slip fielder. Very much earlier in his USA career, he was behind the stumps with the gloves, but tremendous close in, but also equally good out in the deep.
Full. It might make it to the boundary, but it won't. It'll stop. This slow outfield this morning, playing a role here in limiting the runs.
Yeah, a little bit of moisture. We talked about that earlier. And at this ground, the grass appears to be thicker toward the boundary than in the infield. So not surprising that that slowed down a little bit.
back foot there. Stays a little bit low.
Sherrod Lumber just like looking to force that off of his. In fact, that's Eric Ananta looking to force that into the leg side.
Pierces the circle. Roll all the way for 4 runs. Every time he gets through, there's suspense.
Definitely suspense. We mentioned the fact that the grass is thicker toward the boundary, but that was struck very firmly by Eric Ananta. This, for me, is what I want to see from Eric Ananta. Hit the ball hard, keep it on the ground, well-timed and intentionally keeping it on the ground, but enough power to get it to the rope.
Ooh, this one gets through everything right there as the youngster continues his aggressive intent. That'll end over 5, 25 with a loss of 1.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Welcome back here after 5 overs. Stallions X, 25 for 1. And joining me right now is my buddy, Aman Patel.
Always good to be with you, Nate, and always great to be here in Rydal, Georgia for this Atlanta Open 2025. And this does feel like a real marquee matchup. You and Brian have talked about it a couple times. Obviously, similar to what we saw at the end of minor league cricket with the makeup of these two teams. Here's a man who wasn't a part of that in Funny Samhadri. He's going to get his first over with the ball. Nate, only the second over of seam we're going to see so far.
Exactly. Only the second over of seam, and Funny kind of blurs the line between seam and spin at times. Well, all the time. Just the way that he thinks. He bowls with a fast bowler's action, but he kind of thinks the way a spinner does and the way that he sets up batters.
And he gets rewarded like a spinner does. Remember, he's one of 2 individuals to have 100+ wickets in minor league cricket. Was the second man to achieve that feat. And he's played a lot now in the South, a couple of years with the Atlanta Lightning for minor league, and now here in the Atlanta Open with the Atlanta Fire. Just trying to maneuver this field in the final over of the power play.
And he goes all the way full on that. I was talking to him about yesterday, and he told me that he was going with his quicker delivery yesterday, almost exclusively. He was trying to get something out of the wicket over there on field 5. See how he approaches this ground.
Yeah, much different the way the pitch looks, so curious to see what Funny has drawn up.
And there's that cut that he's so famous for. You saw that pitching outside of leg stump and cutting back on.
Yeah, I also saw it get slowed down so much there by Funny Samhadri, and he's benefited because Lahidu Malanta's up at the stumps, and it forces Shahan Jahangir to have to deal with the ball off the wicket.
Close. Might have been something interesting if he had hit the stumps directly, but catch Arya's pads instead.
Yeah, with Arya on strike now, he wouldn't have seen a lot of Samhadri. Jahangir would have just seen a little bit more, having played with a little bit more experience. But Ganatha's had such a great season. He's really been one of the promising young talents. This will be a great challenge.
Wider that time from Funny and very full.
And I like the dipping full toss straight away to Ganatha, just testing his patience, testing whether he's just going to throw his hands through the line of the ball. We've heard from the likes of Dane Peet, the South African Test legend, who said he thinks the most underrated delivery in T20 cricket is that low dipping full toss, and Funny Samhadri bowls that more than most.
Slower that time, and wide.
It's a very late call for a wide as well, much to the dismay of Lahidu Malanta, who maybe isn't quite as animated as Jamar Hamilton, but won't be afraid to let you know what's on his mind.
Well, good job by Lahiru there. Anytime you got a medium pace bowler and he bowls a wide and you're up at the stumps and you collect it as easily as he did. There's an appeal. Umpire not moved.
Lahidu's just told the leg umpire, make sure you're paying attention, because he's going to whip him off in a hurry. And again, it's brilliant from Samhadri, the changes of pace. And Malanta, again, up at the stumps, just keeps everything intriguing. Back foot definitely moved. I don't know if it moved away and out.
You'll see this from Funny with the keeper up. It glues that batter to the crease. I don't know if there's a fast bowler in the country that bowls with the keeper up as often as Funny does. Great delivery there. Wraps up the power play. Stallions X would have wanted more from it, but thought to settle for 29, a loss of 1. You got to think right now, Atlanta Fire on top right now, but if you're Stallions X, you got through the power play, you only lost 1 wicket. That's very important.
And you have to understand that this wicket's probably going to get better to bat on. You say that because the sun has really come out in full effect, bit of wind, and you just feel that wicket's going to bake a bit, it's going to dry up. Those wet spots that we saw and talked about earlier might just, again, have that drying moment. So it means the ball would just come on a bit nicer. So the Stallions X have to be patient, not to run out of time out there in the middle, but also with that same understanding of whilst it's going to be difficult to bat, don't be afraid to just go at 6s until that 10th over.
So Sunny Patel stays on for his 3rd over. Been quite good so far, only 8 conceded with the wicket.
He's much quicker through the air, Sunny Patel, than your typical spinner. Might be even quicker than Funny Samhadri most deliveries with the way he runs it and pushes it through. Remember having a conversation with him during the Super 8s in minor league cricket, and I asked him, "Oh, you're sitting out your Noy Drysdale?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, so how many? You have 1 seam option?" He's like, "No. I go, "Yeah, the 1 seamer, but I got myself. I got Azim Chirania." So they make up the pace bowling in different ways. And that one way is to push the ball through.
Looks like that'll be a leg by there. But you're absolutely right. Sonny loves to zip it through. Loves to zip it through the air. We saw him slow it down at Church Street Park quite a bit, but just the ability to do that, his ability to zip them in and to flight them, the weapons that he has, he's a very tricky bowler.
A little adjustment in the field, backwards square, gets moved around as Ganata comes on strike.
And this is key here. You want to rotate strike in these middle overs in the South for certain. Save those wickets for the last 5. We saw in the minor league final on Sunday how well that did for the Chicago Kingsmen. Plenty of those guys on this Stallions X team right now. Pulled. A race away. We're seeing this aggression start to come from Sharad Lumba.
Yeah, Lumba needs no second invitation. Again, he's someone who's so measured in his approach. He takes his time, and then when he gets the ball that he feels he can put away, he makes sure to take advantage. It was just a touch too short from Patel, trying to rip it on through, and Lumba made it look effortless.
You see that helmet that he's wearing, that blue helmet. He's a member of that MI New York team in Major League Cricket that won the championship this season. 2 out of the 3 seasons they won the championship.
So was Sunny Patel. So again, these two would have seen a lot of each other over the course of that Major League season and in the nets.
You see that bounce again. Getting big on Lumba. So 1 ball to go in Sunny Patel's 3rd over. This is his most expensive one. Still only 7 runs conceded. Big, straight, and gone. Huge shot.
Just anticipating the pace there from Sunny Patel. Last one was maybe just a touch too short. This time a touch too full. Knew it was going to be quick, and Lumba, given the width that he had on offer, just never felt threatened by the stumps. Excellent shot, straight as an arrow. And that's how you want to end a Sunny Patel over.
A big 6 like that. 43, loss of 1 after 7. Big names have played for this Atlanta Fire squad over the years in the various open tournaments and minor league cricket.
I saw Justin Dill play with this franchise in years past. Aaron Jones obviously would have been here had he not gone up to the Canada Super 60. Here's Azim Charania, who is your bowling sub for the day.
Start with a wide. You mentioned how he likes to speed it through like Sonny does. Factored in quite a bit during the Super 8s for this Atlanta Fire squad. Arya really likes that reverse sweep. Tries to go to it again. The ball beats him this time.
Sharad is not happy with that no call. He feels it doesn't matter that he's turned over to the leg side, that's gone all the way past the line. Chidania, though, needs to find his length. A touch too short. And Malanta has implored his side to make a change. He wants Long On to come inside the ring. He's pushed back the deep point fielder. Again, trying to just offer protection for that reverse sweep.
Couple of righties in the middle right now. All these spin options to turn the ball away from them. That one turned quite a bit.
And it's not easy to play a delivery that quick, the turning as much it is on that length. So Kanata just been bogged down a bit. How does he test his patience?
That one stayed on the arm line.
And again, just struggling to find ways to rotate. It feels like he's trying to hit the ball too hard at the moment, Kanata. Plenty of gaps in the inner ring. Just tuck it and run.
Mighty hack at that one as it turns even more. And he is pleading for maybe a wide there, but definitely a Good delivery, just turned through the crease so much. Up in the air. And lands safely there.
Yeah, again, we knew pressure was mounting and building. Kanata wanted to go. Nowhere near it, and it just fell short.
Just short of Steven there. So after the wide, we've got dots galore, and now Lumba on strike. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lumba is safe and smiling. Everybody else distraught. So after 7, we have 45 with a loss of 1, but look at this.
Turn and bounce, and the extra turn and the extra bounce is the only thing that's kept Sharad Lumba up afloat. Close of 8, 45 for 1. Look at Malanta here on the back end, how high he's got to get the gloves. It's almost like a seamer. You got to take it up by your head.
Can't believe it didn't take an edge there. As much as that sucker turned, anything could have happened there. Kananta will start the 9th on strike against Zishan Maksud. Scamper through for just the 1 run. Maksud, how good has he been to build that pressure so far? Only 6 runs, now 7. Only run he had conceded coming into the over in his 2 overs was the big 6.
He's such a handy cricketer. He just provides you so many options, and again, so vastly experienced. Like we've mentioned, captain of the Omani team, and has so many international wickets, particularly in the ODI format.
Speeds that one up a little bit. Sharad stays on top of it. So important to preserve your wickets right now in these middle overs. Try to work through this incredible spin attack.
If there's ever a time to be able to turn into this attack, it's bowling to Kanata. Just there. Again, he's just trying to hit the ball too hard at the moment. He's trying to force the boundaries. That's landed safely. There's no one inside the ring at mid-wicket, but he's not timing it well enough to be given the license to take on that fielder in the deep.
They speed it up, and it's got that much bounce on offer. It is a risky proposition. But that alleviates some of the pressure through the hands of the diving fielder.
Long off felt in the game for a very long time there. Again, Lumba's elected to pounce on anything short, and this one just fractionally so. And look, take a look at this. Just over the outstretched hands of Shadley van Skalkvik.
Great effort. But he just smoked that one.
He's reading the spin wonderfully. Lumba is. You feel very comfortable with the way this wicket is turning. Again, for Kanata seemingly trying to overhit, you feel as if Lumba's timing it.
Kanata steps away. A little bit of a timeout there for the batter. He's getting his bearings, checking the field. He's definitely trying to muscle this, and with just a single after over 9. 56, the loss of 1 for Stallions X.
You'd be curious to see when Stallions X do put their foot down, or if Ganatha in the next couple of deliveries elect to really be ultra aggressive. Maybe the strategic retirement comes into factor. With the batting lineup as deep as Stallions X, you talk about, still with Tejinder Singh to come, still with Shahanja Isaria to come. There's plenty of batting. Faraz Ali isn't playing today, but there's so many options for them to go to that you would feel that, okay, if you're Aryan Kanata, you've got to start to get in. If you can't, well, it might be time to get out.
We've gone through 3 overs so far from each, Sunny Patel and Zishan Maksud. So they only have 1 over left to do damage. Azim Charania himself showing that he's absolutely no slouch at all. Only 2 from his over, and 1 of them was a wide. Having a hard time putting bat on the ball out of his hand. Short. Slapped big. 6 runs.
Intentions made very clear by Arya Kanata. He's not looking to hang around. And the key for this was it was so short, the wickets were never in place. Kanata could wait on it, could sit on the spin. And he's already got so much bat speed and power.
Yeah, his intent hasn't really been in question this entire innings. He wants to go big. Similar delivery that time. A little bit quicker.
50 partnership brought up too in the over. So these were just churning it along. Your big key here for me is, again, Lumba's starting to go through the gears. Can Kanata consistently at least find ones?
There you go.
There's more of that turn. As Charania goes back to the length that did him some good in his first over. This one not turning away. As Charania tries to slip it inside the bat.
Charania's length and his line far better ever since giving up that 6. You can see him keeping the stumps in play. The only time he gets hit for runs is when it's so short or so wide that neither batter have to worry about the stumps. Because, again, there's so much turn, there's so much variation on this wicket that if you're thinking, okay, it's going to come onto middle stump, well, then you're just so much more defensive and you're not in a position to hit.
Hey, come on.
This looks like a wide, and they might run 2 on it.
Go.
There's a little confusion over there. Steven rolls it in. That was quite an interesting run right there.
Ganatha ran 3, and they only get credit for the 2. I think everyone had thought that was going to go all the way to the rope, but instead it just held up again. There's a couple of lush parts of this grass, a bit soft. It's fun to dive on, you'd say. You're not going to injure yourself there, but definitely a bit slower in the outfield.
There's no pressure, okay? Just simple. Ball there, that's it.
So 3 wides on that one. Takes us to 67 with 1 ball left in the first 10 overs.
That's it.
Whew. That one turned a mile. We'll end the first half of this innings at 67 with a loss of 1 for Stallions X.
And again, we talked about how for Charania, he's so effective. I've gone over to tell him.
Sulaiman Patel, a few different phases in this game. Very early, you saw very expensive first over. Then tremendous spin bowling tied down the Stallions X. But this fifth partnership seems to be developing some momentum here as you get into the second half of the innings. 42 runs came from the last 5 overs, 67 for 1 halfway through.
Yeah, no question. And again, for the Fire, well, you think the wicket's going to get better. You just don't want to be chasing upwards of 160. Not against a bowling lineup that'll feature a guy like Ihsan Adil. Obviously, some spinners and the Shanjai Sarias of the world.
160 would take some doing. It would mean from this stage they'd need to score at 9 and over, but they have been scoring at 9 and over. They have a decent batting unit, of course. Still have the Shanjai Sarias and company to come. And this start here, particularly from Sharad Lumba, who feels to me like he should be the anchor the rest of the way. Arakanantha is being very expressive. You saw that. And I think you heard, or I heard you say that you'd want to see him maybe try to not hit the ball so hard. His natural game is good enough to score heavily.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you get bogged down by the outfield maybe not rewarding you the way you think it should. The wicket's tough, and you try to hit your way out of a situation. But I think for Kanata, like you said, his natural game is already so effective. With this kind of surface, with these bowlers who have so many tricks, just don't let them have too many cracks at you.
You talk about the fact that he maybe gets slightly frustrated by the ball not racing across the ground as much as he's accustomed to. Plays his cricket in Texas, Grand Prairie, and in Prairie View. The outfield in both of those locations is faster than the one here, so maybe he's more accustomed to getting more value for his shots in both of those locations.
Yeah, it's an adjustment, right? I think when people ask you about cricket in America, they ask you, oh, what are pitches like? Well, you can't say what pitches are like because it's such a big country that conditions just vary no matter where you go. And, you know, down in Texas, they're blessed with so many great facilities, and this is another great facility, but the types of grass and those things are very different.
White ball.
Wide here. Heard, was it you or Nate who described Fanny Samaja, and I'm paraphrasing, as a spinner in a Pacers body?
Nate loves to call him mystery medium.
Mr. Medium, I love that. I may use that.
I'm not sure Nate Hayes is going to mind, to be honest with you. But he's not wrong. Again, he pulls a lot of these undercutters and the lower arm slot deliveries. And the odd one is seemingly seam up. So, again, Funny has a unique skill set. He executes on that skill set. And, again, me or you maybe not be able to pull that off, but it works wonders for Samhadri.
Well, you saw earlier, well, maybe you didn't see, because yesterday we had this long, extended discussion about left-arm pacers in the country. And the one name that I did not come up with was Fanny Samhadri. And maybe it's just an oversight, but he is tremendously effective. Won't blow you away with pace. Again, I like the phrase military medium, but not military medium. What was it?
It was mystery medium.
Mystery. Mystery. That has to stick. That absolutely has to stick. But he's such an effective bowler. Takes a ton of wickets. You probably can tell me more how many wickets he's taken throughout his minor league career. Lofted into the deep. Is that in the gap? Oh, look at that piece of fielding by Shadley Van Skalkvik. Saves 2 runs there, I think. End of over number 11. I think that's going to be 70 for 2. Make that 70 for 1 after 11.
Yeah, tremendous work in the field. We've seen great commitment all around, and Van Skalkvik just flies in. And he also is, again, so committed. It was Jamar Hamilton at the other end, because he could easily just have watched Van Skalkvik go chase that one down. But this is a Fire team that prides themselves on their work in the field. And with a batting lineup that gets to be as deep as Atlanta's, every run saved is a run earned. You feel, you know, you're not going to have Stephen Taylor batting most likely, but Van Vidraj Vagela showed great promise alongside your already superstars of Lahiru Malanta, of your Shadley Funchkalkvik, your Zishan Maksud, your Sonny Patel, your Rishi Bandes. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
That is a murderer's row of batting. And again, just a really high-stakes match here. Two absolutely packed teams.
71 no,
The
72.
Brain Trust, as I think I heard either you or Nate Hayes refer to it earlier, Sonny Patel and Stephen Taylor. Last 9 overs coming up, Nate. Oh, you look exactly like him in my defense. Aman, last 9 overs coming up. Current scoring rate 6.65. That projects to a score of 133. But the outfield bathed in sunshine, this partnership now worth 61. Where do you think they end up?
I think they're going to end up somewhere around 150. I think that's where you're going to probably see them because, again, it's going to get slightly better to bat on. But I do think Vanchkovic's cutters and Samahadri's cutters late are going to prove to be in their own challenge. And I do also think one wicket can really shift that because it takes some time to get acclimatized, to get used to it. And it's not an easy surface to come into and just hit away. There seemingly is a hold-up in play here. And it looks like Kanata might just be getting some water in. Interesting that it's taken this long for this to happen.
In the meantime, maybe now would be a good time to think about what the bowling options would be toward the back end. I think you mentioned, you just mentioned Shadley Van Skalkvik and his cutters close toward the end of the innings. So he still has 3 left. Maybe he goes 16, 18, 20, or 15, 17, 19, something like that. Fanny Samadji still has 2 left, so you think that you go spin it the rest of the way. Azim Sharani still has 2, Sonny Patel has 1, Zishan Maksud still has 1, or do you just go with pace the rest of the way?
I feel like it would be a misjudgment to not try to give Sonny Patel another over. You had 2 right-handers out there. You have a leg spinner who can turn the ball. I know he's not been at his very best today. Sonny Patel obviously going at 7 and over, but I think you would still have to give him another opportunity. I think Azim Chirani has been brilliant when he's been in the right areas. I would go back to him as well. Maybe not for their whole quota, but those 2 would have to get the ball after Maksud here, and then I think Vanchkovik and Samadri can finish the job on the other end.
And to the point about Sonny Patel going at 7s, but bearing in mind that 14 of those came in his last over. So essentially much more frugal in his first 2 overs, and those 2 first overs for him were both inside the power play. So you like his options, or you like his ability to be able to take that ball or take the ball in the stage of the innings where the batters are going for the shots. I think in that over, the 7th over that he bowled, there were 1 or 2 bad balls. But for the most part, I think you're exactly right. He gets the ball in the right areas, and then to the 2 right-handers is a tremendous asset to have at this stage of the innings. Do you give that man a bowl, Stephen Taylor? Or do you want to maybe wait until Shehenjai Surya comes in as a lefty?
I think that's when you'll probably see him come in. You're waiting for that left-hand option, especially given the fact that you would only want him bowling from this end where Maksud is bowling to a right-hander because you have the bigger boundary out to the leg side of a right-hander. Stephen Taylor is more than good enough to bowl to right-handers, no question, but with the spin options you have, there's no need to force him into action.
Well, Zishan Maksud it is who's bowling his last over, and that becomes the downfall for Arikanantha. He's tried that shot a number of times. He's missed it on all the attempts that he's made, and this time it finds the top of middle stump, 72 for 2.
Tremendous recognition from the fielding side as well. Let's think about Sonny Patel and Stephen Taylor setting that field up. They brought in the deep point fielder, so they have now dangled that carrot, said, all right, Aria, you want to play the shot? Go ahead. But Maksud also bowling to plan. Quicker onto middle stump, not looking to really turn the ball. And Ganatha just never had any time. Also, just a painstaking day in the middle for him. 26 off of 30 as you have another look. Again, points inside the ring. Quick, not trying to turn it at all. The arm ball goes on to leg stump. And Ganatha's day comes to an end. The big wicket falls. 26 he'll go for. It's 72 for 3.
26 for 30 is not a bad innings. I think if you attempt 6 reverse sweeps and none of them work, let's say instead of the reverse sweep, you just look to just play with a straight bat, punch the ball down the ground for ones, or maybe to mid wicket if it's turning into you. That you're into the 30s at that point at a higher strike rate, and the fielding side is more unsettled because they're not sure exactly how to set fields for you. And I think it's just a matter of maybe it's a, I don't want to say maturity because he's a very young man, but he's a very mature cricketer. He's been playing for a long time. But that natural aggression and the need to score heavily off of every ball, sometimes if you curb that a little bit and just look and take what's offered to you, you go further as a batter.
Yeah, no question. And I think also there's that touch of that was predetermined. That's what led to his downfall. Had he reacted, he would have easily just flicked it away. But Jai Surya now on.
So absolutely stylish, Sanjay Surya. Maybe it's my left-handed bias, Aman Patel. There's nothing to me better than a stylish left-handed batter. And I heard we were talking, what was it, a couple of days ago, about the fact that this young man has a tremendous amount of talent. And I would think you'd be able to see him at this level or at the higher levels in the U.S. Major League Cricket included for at least a few more years before he hangs up the boots. Quick single. That's an appeal for an obstruction. I don't think that there's any chance that they could be given out. Look at Stephen Taylor miming what he saw there from the action, but I don't think that's going to be given out. Nate. Why do I keep calling you Nate? Aman.
You know what? I'll take it. Nate Hayes is a great individual, so I'll take the compliments. But again, there's no obstruction here from Jai Surya. He's running straight through, and sometimes things just tend to happen, even though everyone will appeal. You have your right to appeal, but it doesn't mean it's going to come off. I think your point about Jai Surya is brilliant, though. The fact that he probably still has some higher level cricket in him in terms of getting back to Major League Cricket. I thought his 2023 year with the Seattle Orcas was underrated. He averaged 36 in that season. His strike rate just a touch low at 108, but I thought there were foundations. Then his spot just wasn't certain in 24, led to a little slip in his numbers. I think most people, when they saw that he was on the released list of players after the 24 season, would have sat there and said, A, that's a surprising thing to see, and B, okay, who's the lucky team with the #1 overall pick? Seattle, okay, they won't take him first, but then number 2 is going to take him. And to see him not on a draft board and not on a roster was, again, rather shocking.
Goes for the big swipe, misses, and finds the outside edge. Wicket number 3, 2 in the over. Final over being bowled here by Zishan Maksud.
Well, Jai Surya wanted to take on Maksud. Ball coming back in, smaller region.
So the new batter, Usman Khan, 76 for 3. 72 for 1 looked very different from 76 for 3. Was it Jeff Boycott who says if you want to know who is on top in a match, think of the match with 2 wickets additionally taken by the bowling side? So that, to me, pulls things back even. I think you were very much on top, Stallions X, for the last several overs, but this pulls them back into, let's say, a neck-and-neck position.
And it's not easy to get in and get going here at Button Veers, and we saw that very quickly and apparently from Shine Jai Surya, who tried to go and hit that 6. So we talk about 150 being available, but if you continuously lose wickets, and now Sharad Lumba has so much pressure on him, if he gets out, 140 will be a challenge at this stage.
30 from 32 for Sharad Lumba. Make that now 31 from 33. Earlier I said that he could have played or would have been playing the anchor role. I don't know that you have the option necessarily of being the anchor role now, because maybe slightly more positive approach is what's required from here if you want to get to that 130, 140 mark. Oh, the 150 is what you mentioned. So 9 and over from here gets you to 150. You probably need some aggression. If not recklessness, at least a positive approach from Shrad Lumba.
No question, but also this is how Shrad Lumba plays his cricket. When you look at him in minor league, he'll take his time. He'll take 30, 35, and he'll read the situation. If he feels he needs to wait till the 15th over to go, he'll wait. And again, incredibly patient cricketer. And whilst he's not scoring boundaries,
Catchable. Shadlevens Cockfick will never drop that in the last 9 deliveries. Aman Patel, 3 wickets have fallen.
I'm going to get a sign for myself. All right, that's what I'm going to do. No, I actually enjoy being called Nate, so it's all good. But this is what Funny Samhadri does. Over 100 minor league wickets in his career. And this is a stage where you're reeling as a team. You need to get going. You don't pick out many bowlers that are better in these situations. You don't pick out many safer pairs of hands. Connects with his former Seattle Thunderbolts teammate. And another wicket goes down. Like you mentioned, the Stallions X from a commanding position have seemingly flustered and faulted. And Usman Khan goes without affecting the scores. The score moves to 77 for the loss of 4.
So a monster partnership for the second wicket of 61 runs. That wicket fell for the second wicket at 72, but then other wickets at 76 and 77. And that represents for me a struggle, Aman Patel. Tejinder Singh will stride to the crease. And for me, this now feels like a situation where you might have to curb the natural aggression to just get a single here, get a single there, and get some momentum going in these last 45 balls of the innings.
And again, I think if you were to just play your game out here and just get to the 17th over, you would have your eye in and the ability to go big, but you have to give yourself that luxury on these wickets.
Might look for 2 here, I believe. Oh, was not interested in the end. Tejinder Singh.
These two would have played together in Major League Cricket, Lumba and Singh, as a part of MI New York. It was a real breakout year for Tejinder, who has kind of been buried on a couple of different rosters. It was part of the Unicorns in seasons previous and was batting at number 6 in this MI New York season. Came in at 3 and 4 and really profited.
See activity again in the deep. Bit of a fumble. 2 runs probably a given under those circumstances, but what you saw there from Fani Samaja was, again, the slower delivery, looping it almost like an off spinner.
He doesn't give you any pace to work with, and he's just so interesting and unique. Again, it's not going to blow you away because the seam's up. But the arm slots, the different cutters he has, all the variations make him such a vital T20 cricketer. Close of over 13, 81 for 4.
Azim Sharania has 2 overs left. He'll spend 1 of them here to start over number 14. And in this heavyweight boxing match, Aman Patel, without wearing out our analogy of boxing, the last few rounds have probably gone under the Atlanta Fire column.
Yeah, no question. And Chidani is a big part of that. While he hasn't had taken wickets, he's built so much pressure.
Well, he's done that a couple of times. The length in maybe one or so out of his 6 balls in every over has been a lot shorter than he would have wanted it to be.
And he was punished one time for it, but the thing is, it's tough to punish Chidani because you're so worried and you're so cognizant of the fact that it could really dart in any direction. And so you're waiting, but by the time it gets to you, you're in no position to take full advantage.
Really economical. 2 overs, make that 2 overs and 2 balls. 16 runs conceded, so you'll take that under most circumstances from a left-arm orthodox in the middle overs.
Middle, sir. Thank you.
A little shift in the field here. Fine leg gets maneuvered over to short third for Tejinder Singh. So curious as to if they're going to try to get him to just turn his wrists into the onside.
Oh my goodness, he played a week too early, chopped on to his stumps, good slower delivery, 5th wicket down, 84 for 5.
We alluded to this earlier, that shorter delivery, even though it should be punished, it's so difficult to do it because you're just never sure what this ball is doing off this surface. It just held up, it spun a long ways away, and Singh was all over it. And shock for everyone, including Lahidu Malanta. Yes, happy, but oh, can you believe it? Tejinder Singh has to go, and another Stallions ex-batter gonna be left longing for more runs. He goes for 1, 84 for 5.
I have the ultimate question for you, Aman Patel.
Oh boy.
If you are Lahiru Malanta, you mentioned, who's celebrating. If you are Stephen Taylor, who was standing close and saw the wicket up close. If you're Jamar Hamilton, who's observing things from the boundary. Are you happy at the fall of the wicket, or are you saying, oh my goodness, in about another 45 minutes we will be batting on this wicket and it is playing tricks?
Well, you'd be happy that it's a wicket because it means you might not have to score as many runs on this surface. You want to say, all right, let's do it 5 more times, fellas. Let's get it out under 100.
Right.
Cut me some slack on the back end. I was actually talking to Lahidu at breakfast this morning at the hotel and just asking him about playing at field 5 and the wicket and his dismissal. And he says, I still don't know where that hit on my bat coming off. And he came down the track. It kind of jumped up on him. And somehow, as he's looking to flick, the leading edge ended up at fine leg. It was just the most bizarre turn of events.
Oh, full and straight. Usman Khalid is your new batter. Lefty, which makes maybe some bit of a difference. It limits some of your potential bowling choices. But all in all, a really good fight back with the ball here in the last few overs for the Atlanta Fire.
Wouldn't be surprised to see this continuously pushed out wide, given the smaller boundary.
Played into the deep. Just a couple of bounces to deep point. Getting off the mark here, Usman Khalid, my apologies. So, Sharad Lumba, 37 from 37. Run a ball. Overall run rate, 6.22. So he's scoring at a slower run rate than the rest of the team. What role does he play the rest of the way, half the side back in the shed?
Bat 20 overs. I think that's the most important thing right now for Stallions X.
There you go.
Outside edge found. That is a single that closes out yet another brilliant over. 30 runs have come from the last 5 overs, but importantly, 4 wickets have fallen in the last 3. So good stuff here from the Atlanta Fire. End of over number 14, 86 for 5.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarik Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
TLFIO One heart, one vibe. 8, 4, 6, choked up by street. One heart, one vibe. We apply the pressure. One heart, one vibe. We apply the pressure. One heart, one vibe.
One heart! One heart!
Charlie Van Skokvik back into the attack. 1 over in the books, 11 runs against his name. Now 12 after that single. To short final leg to start over number 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy for Charlie Van Skokvik early, and he just went for the one boundary in that first over, and that was kind of the big killer. So for me, with Van Skokvik, this situation feels like it's going to benefit him greatly. You think about his ascension into USA cricket and Major League Cricket, it's as a third seaming option. So, yes, it's batting, but it's also his ability with cutters and slower deliveries, bowling later in innings. And that's why he's so uniquely versatile and why he's been pushed into higher and higher positions. And he's also just a great individual to be around. That always helps. But you think about what he did in 2022 with the Seattle Thunderbolts of minor league cricket, would open the bowling, come back to close it. Think about for the USA, he's that lone man that has those cutters, and even in Major League Cricket for the LA Knight Riders.
Look for 2 here. Nope, just concede a couple of singles. So you talk about what Charlie Van Skokvik has done for the U.S. Obviously, the last time the U.S. played in a game of repute was the World Cup in '24. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why am I thinking? No, played earlier this year. You and I covered some of those games, Nate. You know what? How about we start? You know, you have like the equivalent of a swear jar. Every time I call you Nate, I drop a penny in the jar. Whipped away into the deep, but catchable, and straight down the throat of Steven Taylor. That is wicket number 6. Oh, my apologies. Well, they do look alike. Jamar Hamilton.
Again, we talk about the slower ones and the cutters. It's in the area, but it's just slightly pace off. Jamar typically has the gloves, so you're not considering him to be out there on the ring, but made that look ever so simple. Just stations underneath it, and the fall continues. This time, it's the important man. It's Sharad Lumba that falls. He goes for 39. It's 88 for 6.
Boy, this has gone pear-shaped in the last several overs for the Stallions. Remember, they were 72 for 1. 72 for 1. They've lost 5 wickets, having only scored 16 runs. For me, that is going to be something that really pulls you back. It's not too long ago we were talking about possibly getting up to 150. Well, that's essentially, you can say that that's a dream at this point. You talked also about needing to just bat through the overs. That becomes much more difficult now after you've dismissed the man who you were trusting or entrusting to bat all the way through. So you're now with Sharad Lumba. Well, Sharad Lumba has been dismissed, I believe. Yep, Usman Khan is at the crease. At the non-strikers end, the new batter is going to be Hassan Mohsin, who's known more. He can hit a long ball, but he's known more as a seam bowler. And you're in a little bit of trouble here, Stallions X.
I'm coming over. 3.
Yeah, and I think the bigger issue also, you looked at that second innings, yeah, the pitch is still going to be troublesome, but the spin bowling options just aren't quite as lucrative. Yes, Tajinder Singh, yes, Shayan Jayasuriya, but those are 2 off-spinners that you're going to have to bowl to a lot of right-handers with. Yes, Lehto Malanta is going to open, but you're going to rely on your seamers, whilst the spinners for the Fire, they've been the most effective bowling options.
Well, you saw that in the Manly Cricket Final on Sunday, where the gulf between the 2 teams with their spin bowling options became, in my mind, the primary reason why the Atlanta Fire are the champions. Don't quite have the depth in spin bowling, as you mentioned, and you can do it with slow bowling, you can do it with cutters, with Fani Samhadri and now Shadley Van Skokvik, but the spin attack for me is the biggest difference there.
Yeah, and Sharad Lumba gives them an option as well, but again, 3 off spinners to their name. will those offs be as effective to your right-handed Jamar Hamiltons, to your right-handed Rishi Pandes and Viraj Vagelas? Now, luckily, there's plenty of left-handers in this fire attack. Mentioned Ahad Malik, mentioned Zishan Maksud, Lahiro Malanta, and then if Steven Taylor does come in with the bat. But that'll be a big question headed into the second innings.
21 runs from the last 5 overs, Aman Patel. Punched into the offside, but still constricting the innings for the Stallions X of the Atlanta Fire. Excellent bowling, good over from Shadla Van Skok for 3 runs and a wicket. End of over number 15, 89 for 6.
All right, better. Walk on the side, please.
TLFIRE. One hard, one fight. 846, show the right seat. One hard, one fight. We apply the pressure. One hard, one fight. We apply the pressure. One hard, one fight.
One heart! One heart!
Steven Taylor takes the ball here. Bowling to the lower order. Hassan Mussin will be first on strike. The non-striker is the person who I believe they would have brought Steven Taylor in for. The left-handed hitting Usman Khalid. As you're into the last 5 overs, Nate Hayes.
I seem to have an answer for every question this Atlanta Fire team in terms of their spin bowling attack, as they have all summer.
I mentioned that you'd have brought Steven Taylor in ostensibly to turn the ball away from the left-handed hitting Usman Khalid. I believe that was what is behind that strategy. Don't need Steven Taylor much with the ball today. This is his first over. And I think you've seen evidence, though, that even though you don't need him to bowl a full 4 over spell, he can still be absolutely a handful. And that right there is the ball that they brought Steven Taylor back on to bowl.
Yeah, so dangerous, so good for USA over the years with the ball.
Knocked him over. Look at the celebration from Steven Taylor. That tells the story right there. 90 for 7.
And there's Bob. He is so animated with his celebrations. You never know what he's going to do, but you know it's going to be fun. You see a nice big hug there from Sunny Patel. Also a character in his own right. And look at this delivery, my goodness.
I want to see that again from the pitch cam because it almost appeared that he was bowled around his legs.
It does. It does. They turn back for sure.
Steven Taylor is bowling around. Let's talk about this for a second. He's bowling around the wicket. So the angle is going down the leg side. Certainly would have pitched outside of leg to beat the batter behind his back, but then it turns back and hits leg stump. That ball is turning a lot.
Absolutely. Well, there's turn on off, and when you saw it drift the way it did, you knew it was gonna do something off the surface. Boy, did it ever.
Oh my goodness. Now, I'll ask you the same question that I asked Aman Patel earlier. If you're the batting side, make that the bowling side, are you celebrating very heavily for the fact that you're taking all these wickets? Or are you thinking in the back of your mind, we need to bat on this pitch, and it is absolutely turning?
I think you're doing a little bit of both. You want to just keep the wickets coming.
Now, Aman pointed out that the qualifier to that is that the Stallions X do not have the spin bowling attack that the Atlanta Fire does. So that makes a huge difference. You have Shanjai Surya. You certainly have Tajinder Singh, but I think you can comfortably refer to both of them as backup singers, backup bowlers. I'm not sure where my mind is.
Well, that's okay. You know, you see, you were
Singers, what in the world?
well. Steven Taylor's putting on a performance right now.
Boom, there it is. Thank you. Thank you for pulling me out of that nosedive.
Well, you know, with each appeal and each celebration, he looks like the lead singer. So
Laughed it into the deep. That might land safely. It does. Get another couple of runs here. I believe that's Fanny Samadri after that ball. So you got a couple of runs from the bat of Kashif Bhatti, who is your batter. But boy, runs have dried up ultimately here. Nate Hayes, 92 for 7. The run rate is now under 6, 5.87 to be specific. That is the end of the over. Good over from Steven Taylor. Takes a wicket in his first over. And again, the score is 92 for 7 after 16.
you can see them sorting out who's going to be the next to take the ball. Sonny's put his hat back on, but he's got the ball in hand. He's going to be bowling.
And you like this option. His last over, of course, he's bowled already three overs. Just conceded one. That conceded 21 runs and taken 1 wicket. 14 of those 21 runs came from his third over. So take that away, and he has 2 overs for 7, which is excellent. Those 2 overs are bowled during the power play, no less, when you and I were on earlier. Knocked him over. We talked earlier, and I know that you heard Aman Patel talk about the fact that he essentially, in some ways, considers himself as a medium pacer who moves the ball away. That is evidence of that. 92 for 8.
Just what an absolute gem of a delivery there at the fuller length. He just does tend to zip this through. We're going to take another look at it right here. Boom. Dead straight.
Dead straight, Nate, it has to be said. That is completely across the line of a ball that is pitching at driving length. If that ball is on the stumps, you're dead. And he's playing that ball to square leg. He's playing completely across the line. That is not a delivery that merited that type of shot. That's a shot that you play to a ball that does not have any chance of hitting the stumps. It's pretty terminal when you choose to go across the line to a ball that is that full and that is that straight.
Yeah, 100%. Very full, very straight. Well, we've had some incredible bowling performances today from this Atlanta Fire squad. Only one bowler at an economy of 7. Everybody else under that. Sonny's taken 2 for 21 runs. Zishan with 2 of his own, and every other bowler with 1.
Asif Mahmood is in your batter. Make that, yeah, the new batter. You'll see him with the ball later, but he's not in the side for his batting. He's in the side for his bowling. When you're having to rely on the bottom order to at least get you to a respectable total, that tells you that you're in a difficult position. Looks for the big hit down the ground, ends up inside edging it. They want 2. 2 is not what they get, and is that a run out? It is a run out at the non-striker's end. Wicket number 9 falls in farcical fashion, Nate Hayes.
Well, they wanted to get the full 20 overs in and see what they could do, how much they could pile up. But a good throw here, a bad decision.
I will tell you that is brilliant umpiring. You could see clearly on that replay, slow motion replay, that he was short by maybe 8 inches. In real time, that's difficult to give. And so full credit to umpire. I believe that's Ravi Balasubramaniam, who's at the striker's end, made a really good decision there. The excellent camera work is what we see here that catches the replay. Look at this, planting his bat at the non-strikers, and then all of a sudden choosing to go back down the wicket, and that throw finds him short by, as we said, about 8 inches.
Well, there was no intent from Bhatti at all to come back. He went to the striker's end and started to get ready to bat. And you just mentioned Asif Mahmood is not in the team for his batting. He thought he was. He was ready to get back on strike. But Bhatti was agreeing with you.
Ehsan Adil, the new batter, somebody else who is also not in the team for his batting. But having said that, I have seen Ehsan Adil score 20 runs in 5 or 6 balls. He does it with regularity. He's very tall, has very long levers, can clear the ropes if you're not careful. So you're not out of the woods. It's going to be Kashif Bhatti who's on strike, Ehsan Adil at the non-strikers end, but you don't want to take your foot off of the gas here. A little bit more aggressive field with Zishan Maksud being brought inside the circle as Kashif Bhatti is on strike.
Yeah, now just a simple goal of batting 20 becomes excruciatingly difficult.
Huge hit. Long. Oh, what an attempt in the deep. That is Jamar Hamilton. They'll get 2 runs off the bat. I thought that was 6 for all money.
Jamar Hamilton made sure it wasn't 6. He knew that the catch was out of play. You see where he landed as he slid. He was well out of play. So that was just a rescue job. He was just saving the runs there the whole time. Absolutely incredible. I think the question is whether or not he was already past the boundary when he threw it back in. He's going to tell you he was. This is Jamar Hamilton 100% right here. And you see Steven.
This is going to be interesting to me, Ehsan Adil, who is not, he came into bat at number 11. But you don't have very many number 11s who can hit a 6 over extra cover. This ball is turning away from Ehsan Adil, but if you think you're just going to bowl, in fact, last 3 balls coming up, if you think you're just going to drop the ball on a length and having it turn away from Ehsan Adil and have it overpower him, he is the type of batter who's able to go big over the offside. By the way, the scorecard had been inaccurate because it appears as though that's the end of the over. So that happened very quickly. And the scorecard give us some time for, at the bottom of your screen it says 16.2. But that for me is not exactly accurate. Unofficially, it appears as though that is the end of over number 17 and over number 18 is about to be bowled. Looks like Azim Charania is going to bowl his last over, turning the ball away from the 2 right-handed batters.
I believe the 100 is up or we're close to it.
You see the bottom of your screen, the scoreboard is catching up.
It's catching up right now. But what an effort by Jamar Hamilton, and then he gets up and says, yeah, it went over.
Stunning.
I think he just did that for fun. 100.
So there you go. A paddle sweep being attempted here by Kashif Bhatti. So let's say we'll stipulate the 100 being up. In fact, the last over being bowled here by Azim Charania. Looking to paddle it around the corner, fine. I don't know that just acting like a number 10 and just throwing the bat at it would not be a better option here. I don't know that very many paddles around the corner will yield you much on this wicket. Great delivery. Fizzing past that outside edge. 3 straight dots.
So much turn, so much turn.
Wow.
Wow, so much bounce.
Getting some of the Arikanantha fever there, looking for the reverse sweep. Comes out not making any contact. So the last 2 balls in what has been a miserly last over for Zim Charania.
Well, this is one way to get to 20. Continue to miss the ball.
Well,
Oof. I don't know how
do
anyone
you
hits
want
that.
to get to 20? Absolutely. Do you want to get to 20 by conceding all these dot balls? You'd prefer not to, but ultimately you want to stretch the game as long as you can. And being bowled out inside 18 versus being bowled out or batting all the way through 20, for me, makes a big difference. If for no other reason than the fact that that helps you with net run rate. End of over number 18, last 2 coming up in theory, 100 for 9. This is an interesting matchup. Fani Samadri has 1 over left. He'll bowl it here in over number 19. Fani Samadri with all his wiles, all his tricks. What was your phrase, Nate?
Mystery medium?
Mystery medium captures his bowling exactly. And watch out for Ehsan Adil here, who has nothing to hold back for and has every license in the world to go big or to attempt to go big against Fani Samadri. Well, it doesn't look like he wanted to go big on that one.
He's just a little shorter. Short enough for it to get that bounce and turn. You see from Fani. The trick here is this height. You mentioned the long levers, Ehsan Adil. Fani loves to bowl those full dipping deliveries. That might be a bad combination for Ehsan, but he gets off strike.
Gets off strike and gets off the mark, so you're clear of the 100-run mark. 101 for 9. You have a maximum of 10 balls left in the innings. Run a ball obviously gets you to 111. I don't think that's nearly enough runs, but we'll see the way it develops here. Bit of excitement. Wanted the single, not going to get it. Press half-hearted appeal for leg before. But halfway through his last over here, Fani Samadri has been very good. 15 runs conceded in his 3 overs and 3 balls. And he's taken a wicket, courtesy of a good catch on the boundary by Jamar Hamilton. Well, there's the big swipe I was looking for. They'll get at least a couple. Don't think it will have the legs to get to the boundary. Good solid throw in the deep. So another 2 runs. Last 2 balls coming up here over number 19. Something just caught your eye, Nate.
Well, just Jamar. Like I said, there should be a camera that follows him everywhere.
Jamar Cam?
The Jamar Cam, and you have a split screen. You have it showing in the bottom corner all the time because he's just so animated and entertaining. And I don't know if anybody loves cricket more than that guy does.
Single. You don't know if everyone loves cricket more than Jamar, or anyone loves cricket more than Jamar does. I don't know that very many people love life more than Jamar does. He is just an absolute thrill to be around. If he's meeting you for the first time, it's though he's known you for 10 years.
That's
He's
right.
just a great, great human.
You know, sometimes, they say you don't always want to meet your heroes. If Jamar Hamilton is your hero, then you're in great shape.
Good looking strike down the ground. Ehsan Adil. He'll keep strike as you get to the end of over number 19. 5 runs coming from the last over bowled by Fani Samadri. 105 for 9.
Quick change your man.
is when there's 3 of them, and then I'm
Okay.
like, okay,
Well, what's the significance?
There's something significant here. And with Funny, you can bet that's probably not his high score with the bat. So I am very curious what it
Maybe
is.
it's the total number of runs he scored in his entire cricket career.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, it could be that. You want to have the same number for your whole season.
Now, so somebody like Chris Gale, whose number is 333, that tells the story.
Tells the story. Big time.
Highest test score for the big man from Kingston, Jamaica. End of over number 19. This is interesting. It will be Shadley Van Skalkvik against Essa Nadil. Opening strike bowler versus opening strike bowler. I think Essa Nadil would prefer to face Shadley Van Skalkvik than Vanessa Madra. Let's see what happens here. Looks to work this one around the leg side. Should just be a single. In fact, it might be a leg by. We'll see the confirmation here from umpire Eshan Mole.
Yeah, it is a leg by. Yeah, good slower delivery there by Shadley. He's quite good in bowling in the death. If you remember back in minor league in 2022, he was an anchor for that Seattle team in the death.
Gone. Down the leg side. Don't always see those happen. And really unlucky from Kashif Bhatti. Looking to play it on the leg side. Just gets a thin inside edge. Those are always difficult for the umpires. But I think that Eshan Mole making the right decision. And it is the fact that they do not get to bat 20 overs. Last wicket taken here by Shadley Van Skalkvik.
Yeah, 4 balls left on the table. Let's see if that comes back to haunt Stallions X. Just enough of the bat. That ends their day.
Just tickled around the corner. That is the end of the inning. So, an excellent day with the ball for the Atlanta Fire. Look at that. That's a good replay right there. Just glancing it down the leg side. Shadley Van Skalkvik actually started celebrating before the wicket or the finger was raised by Eshan Mole. So it was that obvious of a dismissal. So I think you'll be very disappointed with that to have gone from 72 for 1 to 106 all out. That's 34 runs and 9 wickets in that period of time. The scorecard tells the story. Shahan Jahangir, 10 from 7. You probably would have wanted more from the captain. Sharad Lumba, top scoring, 39 from 40. Only Ari Kanantha and Kashif Bhatti joining him in double figures, 26 and 12 respectively from those two. 9 extras, and you end up with 106 runs.
And it's all because of this Atlanta Fire bowling attack. Shadley, Zishan, Sonny each with 2 wickets. Everyone took wickets. Fani looked everybody looked really good today. Stevens 1 over, took a wicket for just 3 runs against the lefty. And man, they really shut the door on any chance to put up a good total.
Well, we're standing by to go to Aman Patel shortly. We'll get that interview in with one of the members from the bowling side. We'll get that sometime very soon.
Here with Funny Samadri. Funny, a wicket for you. A lot of conversation about that surface out there. Tell me what you thought of it.
So the wicket is really tricky, especially for the batsman. It's tough to bat on. We were thinking 120. If we can contain them until under that, we'll be good. So we were successful in that, restricting them to 106. Now it's our batsman's duty to take care of the game. First half is done, second half is on their hands. But yeah, it's not easy to bat on it.
Yeah, you talked about restricting them under 120. At one point, they were 72 for 1, and then there was a collapse from there. What was the conversation to start that collapse?
So the only thing we had in the mind in the middle overs is try to give use the wicket as much as possible, and hit the wicket and slow down the ball. And I think that worked. The middle overs contained the game. They were not able to get easy singles. I think that also made them go for shots in between, which they were not able to, get full-fledged of it. Yeah.
There you go. Good luck in the second innings, Funny. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Aman.
Good stuff from Fani Samadri. Absolutely brilliant bowling. and the smile to go along with it. So excellent stuff from the Atlanta Fire. A few highlights coming up here, Nate. I think you saw a fast start from the Stallions X, but the Atlanta Fire essentially taking the bull by the horns in terms of the bowling and getting things back going in their direction.
Yeah, Shayan Jahangir had to be the biggest wicket there after what he did yesterday. We had a little bit of a partnership here from the youngster and Sharad Lambaharian Kananta went quite good for some time, promising to possibly deliver some runs that were defendable, but the ball was turning quite a bit, bouncing a lot. Tell you what, that Kananta, he was so aggressive right from go. That was a big six, a no doubter. And I think we'll see a lot more from this youngster, Arya Kananta. He was finally taken out bowled by Zishan Maksud. And then it was all about trying to get Sharad Lamba out of the middle.
You saw that one catch there. That, to me, is the beginning of the end. Once you get Shanjai Surrey, removing him from the middle order, and then the wickets just started tumbling after that. That's the delivery we talked about where Stephen Taylor bowls a lefty behind his back. That ball would have done some turning. And then this quick and flat delivery and not the best of shots played there in that moment. And ultimately a comical run out coming up. I think you'll find that not the best of efforts and a good piece of umpiring. I highlighted that earlier. And then Shadley Van Skalkvik coming back in to take the last wicket. So that is the end of what I think is going to be an innings that the Stallions X would be disappointed with. So we'll go in a minute to Abraz. He had a chat earlier with Stallions coach Zach. We'll hear what Abraz and Zach had to say coming up right up.
All right, we are here in the suburbs of Atlanta watching the Atlanta Open T20 cricket here. And I've got a very special person here next to me, the coach of the Stallions X. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, man. How's yourself?
Doing great, thanks. Obviously, it's great vibes over here watching the cricket out here. So talk to me about the team's dugout. How is the team feeling right now? What are the emotions like in there?
Oh, we're ready because we've been playing a lot. We've been playing a lot of cricket for months now. So seeing the competition, I mean, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. So I think we're ready to play anyone, So I think we got it. Oh, yeah.
Of course, you've started off with a great win in the tournament, but now you're playing against another team who's coming off of great success at the moment, the minor league champions here, Atlanta Fire. So what sort of changes within the dugout when you're playing teams of these high calibers out here?
So what are the changes?
Yeah, so what sort of things go through your mind when you're coming out playing against a team like Atlanta Fire?
Just another team. As long as we train a lot for it, we've been through a lot, so now it's time to show it under the lights. So, since we come to execute, we train for it, so I think we're ready to play. So, yeah.
What does it sort of take to win a tournament like this?
Let me see. There's a lot. Remember what we trained for. As long as we remember what we trained for and how hard it was and how much, time we put into it, and now it's time to show it, I think that will get us through.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. We've got Zach right here. Best of luck for the game.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Heard from Stallions coach Zach Martin. Our browse with the interview there. Zach Martin, excellent coach. Could stand to have some time at the gym, though. It looks kind of sloppy if you don't think. Wait, that is the end of the first innings. A short break for us here in the commentary area. Groundskeepers are doing what they need to do. We'll be back for the chase in about 10 minutes. See you soon.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
but this one is globbed into the onside. A slow, short ball.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarik Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Welcome back to the Bud and Veers Cricket Complex. We're here at field number 1 for the second innings of this matchup between the Atlanta Fire and the Stallions X. And the Stallions X batting innings, safe to say, went pear-shaped in a hurry. They were 72 for 1 and then bowled all out for 106 before they got to that 20th over. You see the two scores there at the top, Lumba and Kanata. They were the partnership, and once Kanata got out, seemingly everything fell around them thanks to the spin attack of the Atlanta Fire. So the Fire will be set with the task of chasing 107. Feels like a light ask, but on this surface that has played some tricks, it'll be tough to keep up with that worm. I'm Om Patel, joined by Nate Hayes, as always. Nate, you reckon the Fire are in the driver's seat, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a real easy chase, this.
It doesn't feel easy at all. Now, I'll tell you that partnership, that second wicket partnership, went a long way for Stallions X as they went into the second half of the innings at 67 with a loss of 1. Anything could have happened. At that point, you had 9 wickets in hand. They end up bowled out with 4 balls left on the table. So that goes to tell you it's tricky in the middle overs here.
Lahiru Malanta and Rishi Pandey are out there in the middle. This will be interesting because the spinners were the biggest part of the Fire bowling attack. Look at the spinners for the Stallions X. Well, it's Shayan Jayasuriya, an off spinner, Sharad Lumba, an off spinner, Tejinder Singh, an off spinner. Those are your 3 big spin options. So to Rishi Pandey, with the bigger leg side, they'll bowl from this end, but I'm just curious to see how they're able to rotate through their overs with their 3 spinners as 3 part-timers that bowl off spin. And Pandey gets the scoring started straight away.
Shehan taking the ball. And, you know, some people might say he's a part-time spinner, but when you're a finger spinner. When you're a right arm finger spinner in T20, most of the time you're a batter who can bowl. And that is Shahan. But he's still pretty good with the ball, pretty useful. See him bowling with the hat on. And Lahiru on strike, the lefty. This is one of the reasons why you go with the finger spinners right away.
So that'll be your one matchup. With all the left-handers the Fire have, Lahiru Malanta, Ahad Malik, Zishan Maksud, your three offies become ever so useful.
Absolutely. We saw the lefty batters yesterday against Raiders Unlimited for this Atlanta Fire squad really played a big role in the win. They're almost a detriment today against this style of bowling attack.
Taken. Rishi Pandey goes, and the first wicket on the board.
Another early exit for Rishi Pandey in this tournament after a very good minor league end for him. He'll be disappointed there. We talked about all the lefties. Well, he was the righty in the middle there. Just didn't quite strike it right.
Couldn't quite believe he picked out the man. Pandey goes for one. It's 2 for 1.
Ansh Dave makes his way to the middle now.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Ansh Dave in minor league cricket. This is why we'll see him today. Great look at this. Again, just trying to work it. A little extra turn, maybe a touch of extra bounce, but Pandey, if we're disappointed, really a soft dismissal, you'd say.
Yeah, 100%.
We heard from Sunny Patel that they're going to continue to try new combinations given the fact that they have 2 games today, and Ansh Dave is part of that. Didn't play a game in minor league cricket this year, but he's a big, tall batter who likes to dominate down the ground. Nervy stuff for the Fire early.
Yes, indeed. You know, everybody has to bat on the same surface. But how much of the last innings came down to that, and how much of it came down to just the skill?
Well, there you go. Straight down the ground. A couple bounces over the rope.
You mentioned Dave likes to be aggressive. He starts off here. Beautiful 4. Just over the bowler's head. Tremendous shot.
It's a real opportunity for Dave to make a statement. Playing time has been off and on at best, and he's got the shots. And this tricky wicket, if he could put his hand up, it'd be a huge moment. And we'll retain strike, headed into over 2. It's 7 for 1. Nate's solid start here, but the Stallions X will sit there and say, okay, we've taken that initial wicket. We're in a decent position.
Absolutely, taking it with a 3rd ball of the innings. Good start, and not only did they take the wicket, they took the righty out. So that leaves all those finger spinners we talked about. Leaves some lefties for them. There's still a lefty in the middle. So they don't have to really change their plans too much yet. With all the bowling options that this Stallions X team has, I was wondering who would get the ball right here.
Yeah, Kashif Bhatti is going to have it here. Again, another one of these spinning options for Stallions X. Someone who's been a part of the PSL, Bhatti. Going to provide a left arm orthodox option. And for a team that's littered with pace bowlers, they're going to have to wait. No Ehsan Adil, no Ghulam Mudassir, no Hassan Mohsin.
Yeah, they do have a loaded fast bowling attack. We saw with the Chicago Kingsmen coming to Morrisville with all those fast bowlers and just not enough spin. Came back to haunt them a little bit. As you mentioned to Brian earlier, we have so many different wickets across the country because the country's so vast. So we have all these different climates, all these different soils and grasses around the USA. It makes things very interesting.
Straight through him. Yeah, Nate, you're absolutely right. Even your Button Veers, as this one's a wide, there feels like there's different wickets on each ground. Some of the wickets provide so much more bounce than others. It's a real statement to the folks who are maintaining and operating this wonderful facility. It's an absolute privilege to have it on the East Coast as well. We've seen, likes of this out in Texas. We've seen some of them on the West Coast, but to have it on the East Coast here in Atlanta, right outside of it, is quite brilliant.
And this sport, it's just so interesting how much the conditions make a difference. They make such a huge difference. It's tough to put together a squad that's going to do good in every open around the country, in every event.
What an over from Bhatti early. Just the run off the wide. It's 8 for 1. Plenty of time for the Atlanta Fire, but you feel as if that required run rate starts to get to 7. It might be very tricky given just this wicket and the tricks it's playing.
Absolutely might be. And yeah, you did see in the first innings, Stallions X only lost to 1 wicket in the first 10 overs. A little bit of that was luck. They got lucky, a couple of lucky bounces, but they did do a good job to navigate, and you think they would have wanted to capitalize on that great start. They made the most of the start anyways.
Malanta and Jayasuriya, 2 good friends, have played together in minor league cricket for the Silicon Valley Strikers, and there'll be a little battle brewing on between the two. You see smiles all around.
Nice, ready, anything, boys.
We've seen a lot of dot balls so far.
Malanta isn't someone who likes to be kept down. He's very aggressive and he gets after you as a bowler. And Jayasuriya knows that, so you can see him 3 deliveries and 3 very different deliveries. First one, flat and quick, fuller. Second one was wider, slower. And the last one pulled the length back. So he continuously is mixing it up for Malanta.
Another dot. We've seen now 11 dots and 1 wide across the last 11 balls.
Remarkable stuff here, and again, this is how you can manufacture scoreboard pressure. Fielder runs back and watches it sail. Does remarkably well to keep it from the rope and save 2 runs.
The suspense there as he flips it up behind himself and waiting for that ball to come down and wondering what would happen to it when it did.
Funny enough, look how high he throws this. It goes straight up, and you're like, oh, that might spin backwards. You have no idea where that's going to land. Just 2 runs from over number 3. The Fire 10 for 1.
Atlanta Fire Star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
Man, indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is lobbed into the onside. A slow short ball.
Brilliant start for the Kingsmen, trying to mirror what happened in that first innings, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. Stallions X were at 12 with a loss of 1 after 3.
Oh, doesn't carry. Agonizingly in the air for so long. The base hit the one boundary, but since then, has really looked out of sorts.
Absolutely not going to be an easy task. 100's looking like a big number right now.
And that's a big shot in the end. DeVay releases some of that pressure.
Huge 6. We know that DeVay is looking to do this. He's going to take advantage of every chance that he gets to go at it.
That's it. That's the movement. You get your boundary, you get off strike with a single.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Don't keep yourself pinned there for the spinners to have a go at you over and over and over again.
Also, you have Lehito Malanta out there, who's one of the most expressive bats. He'll have the ball coming back into him with the left arm spinner.
Exactly. This is who you want on strike for this bowler.
And you can see Cheyenne Jahangir behind the stumps. He's maneuvering this field, deep mid-wicket and long on. So Bharti cannot afford to provide any bit of width to Malanta. All the spinners today have been so quick through the air. And seemingly that's been the way to bowl on the surface.
Yeah, you don't want to give the batters any time to adapt to what's coming their way. You want to give them time to adjust to any strange hop or turn.
Close of over 4, 17 for 1. Malata signaling from the crease. He is just struggling. You look at the Fire bowling. A lot of wickets for Van Schalkvik, Maksud, and Sunny Patel. And even Stephen Taylor was able to break through. And it was just confirmation of what we were talking about, how the change of pace worked, but also their ability to bowl in that good length spots. And so far, the Stallions X have done something very similar and has kept DeVay and Malanta bogged down. DeVay, though, has gotten off to a good start, Nate. 12 from 13. You like the position he's in.
Yeah, I definitely do. He's playing a similar role here to Arya Kananta. And in that first innings, Arya survived for a long time, but he had that aggressive intent. Built that very, very good partnership with Sharad Lumba that accounted for most of the runs of the team.
Lehito Malanta's getting some work done just ahead of us. He was grabbing his neck at the close of the last over. And he's got it looks to be someone acting as a chiropractor. I'm not going to say he's a chiropractor, but someone with that kind of skill set, working out that neck and that upper back area.
Yeah, Hopefully he'll make his way over to our tent soon.
Harsh, what do you have there? What do you have, Harsh? Ah, a little kava. He's been a busy bee, Harsh has, trying to get everybody some food and trying to set up this entire event. And again, this event has been absolutely brilliant, from the production quality to what we've seen happen on the field. The fact that there's 4 concurrent games happening right now, Nate, all of them are streamable. They're all there to watch on the MLC network.
Oh, it's brilliant. This facility this is my first time here at the Paramount Beers Cricket Complex, and I'm impressed with it. It seems like it's buzzing. There's so much going on right now all around us. See the mowers going, you see golf carts zooming around.
Usman Khalid has the ball. Another one of the left arm spinners. Oh, well stopped. Good left hand, Ihsan Adil.
Very well stopped there by Ihsan. I wonder when we see him come in.
He likes this. He's a big fan. Not many people talk about his quality of fielding, but that left hand, that outstretched left hand, left a smile on his face. And he's still talking about it. And why not, Ihsan? You deserve to talk about it. Did you ever stop anything one-handed?
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time. That's a regular day in the office for you.
All the time.
So you've been showing Ihsan Adil how it's done?
No, I'm not showing him anything. He's got it. He's got it locked down over there.
You might need to see a clip of you saving something one-handed, or just during the break.
Nah, we don't have to do that.
Oh no! I want to compare. I want to compare the 2 videos.
I don't have to. No, we're not going to do that. I don't have the right shoes.
Excellently well placed from Malanta. Great recognition of the smaller boundary.
Too short there. We talked about Malanta's aggression, or his ability to be aggressive, pick out his shot. Does a good job there of getting low. So quick. He's got such quick hands.
So dangerous having the ball coming back in to Malanta with the smaller boundary to his leg side. It really just keeps your options as a bowler to a minimum. And you see the field now has to be set there. Long on, deep backwards square.
We've seen Lahiro Malanta in MLC. We've seen him in the BPL, I believe. And also in the NPL. Playing all over the place.
Yeah, it's a very hot commodity.
Quick change, boys, quick change.
Maybe one of the more underrated batters in the country. You would think, if not for just the sheer depth of wicketkeeper batters up top of the order in the USA, he would be clamoring around into that USA team. There's one of your options right there. He's got the USA helmet on, Shayan Jahangir. And the reason he's in the team is because of his versatility. Able to come and bat at number 5, 6, and 7.
He is up to the task for just about any role that he's been given. He's done a tremendous job for USA Cricket. Just a fun guy to be around as well.
Mammoth 6. Ansh Dave, welcome to the Atlanta Open.
What a shot right there. You're going to have to go through the gate to get that one around that fence. But Ansh Dave, his second 6 of the innings. This one, the most impressive for sure.
Just a hair wide. That's all it was from Usman Khan, just fractionally. And Dave needed no second invitation. Small side, big side, he says, I can clear any rope.
He absolutely walloped that right now with 19 runs.
Giving the selector something to think about. Remember, it wasn't someone who was consistently being picked. And Noviraj Vagela today. Looks like this could be an option. And a real option for the Atlanta Fire going forward. can't do that. Fortunate it didn't cost any runs, but with only 78 left to go get, you can't afford the missed fields. Close of 5, 29 for 1.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarek Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
It's been all spin for the Stallions X, but making a change now. First signs of seam. And because there's a fast bowler starting to warm up, we said, all right, let's bring a fast bowler into the comm box. Brian Walters, welcome to second innings.
I saw that one coming all the way up Highway 411. Good afternoon, Aman Patel.
Well, we had the off spinner, Nate Hayes. Their bowling spin. It only felt right. There's Ahad Malik warming up. The second wicket were to fall. Remember, for Stallions X, Brian, me and you were on call for this. They lost their second wicket with 72 runs on the board. And from there, all out for 106.
They will not in any way be happy with that. That's a huge collapse of epic proportions and essentially turned what was warming up to be a mouth-watering contest into a bit of a one-sided match halfway through. But both teams need to bat. And you've seen some evidence that the two teams are still neck-to-neck. End of over number 5, the Stallions X had 25 runs, 29 for the Atlanta Fire. So you're still neck and neck, and you're wanting to make sure that you continue going through your disciplines here.
Adil, highly skillful major leaguer in his own right. Fielder, over him. Curious the signal. It's 6 and just enough.
I'll tell you what, as to the big side of the field, about 71 yards, Aman, my initial impression was that the fielder was in about 4 yards. Had he been back on the rope, he probably catches this chest height, or chest high.
Huge swing that. Chance to see the back of Malanta. Kahuza begging.
Essa Nadil is the type of seam bowler who would be able to take advantage of a wicket like this. You see evidence of a lot of lateral movement. He typically cuts the ball both directions, moves it off the seam. So it would seem, as we see here, ooh, that is a no ball. Signaled as a no ball, and I don't see in fact, there's a signal from the umpire. It's going to be a free hit. You can't afford anything remotely close to that, Aman, when you're defending. I almost did it again. When you're defending a score of only 107.
The turn to pace hasn't worked as of yet. And Anj Dave, who's climbed into a couple monster sixes, has a free hit. For good measure, Anj Dave.
Well, it's a free hit, so he can throw the kitchen sink at it. You know that he's going to do just that. For me, just maybe not quite as full as Esanadil wanted it to be. Went with a slower delivery and left it in the slot and drilled down the ground. That is a sweet strike. Just not a slog. It's right through the line and hitting it cleanly down the ground for 6.
14 runs from the over.
So what I'd started saying, Aman, is that he's the kind of bowler, Sanadil, who moves it off the seam in both directions. And the pitch, at least for the spinners, appears to be offering movement, lateral movement. But you saw Shadley Van Skogvik with some lateral movement. You saw Fani Simhadri. So imagine those two bowlers, but at 6'5" and much quicker. That's the kind of bowling that you'd think you'd be able to get from Ehsan Adil. So despite the heavy scoring in this over 14 with 2 balls remaining, it would seem to be the type of pace bowler who would get benefit from bowling on this wicket.
There's your benefit. Not given. Not given. Convinced is everyone a part of the Stallions X group.
Umpire Ravi Balasubramaniam disagrees with 11 men in blue. And there are a ton of double teapots all the way around, not the least of which is Ehsan Adil himself. Ehsan Adil did not even bother turning around to appeal. He was already celebrating. And I think, obviously, we don't have the technology to say whether or not it was an edge, but it was. We can say this. It was at least close to the bat.
No question. It didn't seem to be a noise from our vantage point, but I thought on the replay maybe a seam got scrambled, but that, again, is so minute, and we can do that because we have such a great crew that gives us the production and slow it down to 25%, but to see that in real time, can't argue. If there's any doubts, you've got a tie, you got to go to the batter.
That would have been a big wicket, but certainly not dismissed. Last ball coming up here in the power play.
Probably a bit high.
No question that that's highest on the dill. Letting Ansh Dave know a little bit about what his thoughts are of that penultimate delivery of that over. End of the power play. It's an interesting one, an expensive one. 14 runs coming from it as we see this replay again. Yeah, that's bouncing over the top. Missed the front pad, hit the back leg, but that's above the pad entirely. I think that might have hit him on the thigh pad. So, again, an interesting over. End of over number 6, 43 for 1.
Needed that wicket, Ehsan Adil, especially after the way that over started. You get Ansh Dave, it just might turn the game on its head a bit. You bring in a new batter, tough place, and you make it look very different as conditions are seemingly changing. Brian, wind has started to pick up. It's starting to get much cooler. It's very different than it was maybe just 15 minutes ago.
That's exactly right. Earlier we had chatted off air about the weather, and it looked as though somewhere around 1 o'clock local time is when you might see a change in the weather, with possibly some rain showers entering and a little bit more wind and a little bit more, let's call it overcast conditions. Looking to take advantage of that here as Tajinder Singh comes into the attack.
And we talked about the 3 off spinners available for the left-handers. Tajinder Singh, he rates his bowling, and why not? He's taken major league wickets, taken minor league wickets, and he's here in the Atlanta Open with the ball in hand. Now, with all that being said, Brian, it's not that he can't be taken.
He will want to forget the last over that he bowled in the minor league season. 15 runs came from the one over that he bowled, so he certainly can score off of him.
A brilliant start for the Jinder. He's one of these crafty part-time spinners who, again, might not have the wide array of skills out of the hand, but just reads the wicket and conditions very well.
That's certainly the observation, and sometimes we tend to overcomplicate the sport. If you're bowling on a tricky wicket, get the ball just short of driving length and let the wicket do the work for you, and I think that that would be the lesson here for Tajinder.
Short third is just taking a couple steps up. That's the beautiful part about the Atlanta Open. Everyone is friends, and so you all see this gamesmanship. Jai Surya does well.
Jaisaria did that very casually, but that was not an easy piece of fielding. First of all, the outfield in that area is a little bit rough. Talked about that earlier. And he got that on the short hop. That easily could have gotten by him moving to his left. He's a right-handed thrower. That could have gotten by him for 4.
What's been so impressive about this partnership for me, Brian, is that Ansh Dave has almost carried it. He's allowed Malanta to settle in.
What's next, sir?
Could be danger. Could be real danger. Put down. Never easy running back. Did all the hard work and can't cash in Asif Mahmood.
You nailed it. Running backward from his position at mid-on, the ball is swirling. Talked about the fact that the wind is picking up now. You can see the tent above us flapping in the wind, so that would not have been an easy catch. But you see on that replay, just not quite able to judge it. He called for it, which is what you want. You want somebody to take charge, but having taken charge, he might have wished that he would have taken that catch. So they end up with a single off of that last ball of the over. Over number 7 is in the books. Score is 47 for 1.
Ansh Dave, 27 of 23. And again, he's not someone who's a regular member of this Fire 11, but he's making a case that it should change. Mahmood puts one down and gets the ball in his hand. What do you make of the change of seamer here, Brian?
Well, you don't have, at least in my mind, the off-spin resources to bowl as many overs of spin as the Atlanta Fire did. So eventually you have to go to the Pacers. Asif Mahmood is more of a hit-the-deck type of bowler. Brings the heat, brings with pace. This is not necessarily a Pacers wicket today, so maybe won't be as effective on the type of wicket that we saw yesterday, where there's a lot more on offer pace and bounce-wise.
The one part of that would be you look at Azim Chirania, yes, a spinner, but how quickly was he bowling and the amount of cuts and bounce he was receiving. Maybe Mahmood, as he looks to bang it in, is able to extract something. Maybe not extra bounce, but maybe that variable bounce, maybe an extra bit of cut and sideways movement.
Well, the job is to bowl out the Atlanta Fire. I don't think you win this game any other way. They're 46% of the way toward the target, just out of the power play, needing to score at the rate of 4.52 and over from here. And so 4.52 and over, to me, translates to you needing to bowl out a strong batting side. And yes, you've seen the adventurous Ansh Dave so far, 28 from 24. He was put down and possibly could have been adjudged caught behind. But it's going to be up to the strong batting side to take charge and go forth and take this victory. And the opposite side of that coin is that you have to bowl them out if you're the Stallions X.
And the opportunities given to Ansh Dave, again, are so important, not just because of Dave's wicket, but the time he's allowed Malanta to have in the middle. He's played 19 deliveries, he's played maybe one big shot, and that wasn't off the middle of the bat, which is so just not like Malanta. Oh, delicate. Good work at third.
It's delicate on another day that goes off the on the edge back onto the stumps. little bit of inconsistent bounce, and that was played with the angled bat away from his body. So easily that could potentially have gone back onto the stump. So he might consider himself lucky there, Lahir Malanta. And I'm thinking if he had that shot to play again, he want to play it a little bit more of an aggressive shot or get his front foot across to the pitch a little bit more.
Shine Jahangir maneuvering the field for Anstave. Down leg. And the brilliant part, again, of having Malanta out there is that even on that where Dave would be having his heart in his mouth, oh, I got to hit my pad, Malanta said, yeah, just come through. Look, right here, look at this thing. Yeah, come. You're good. And again, that's the beautiful part about this partnership. Malanta's maturity, but then Dave's aggressiveness has allowed this to flourish.
Very much so, and I think he's seen evidence of that here. You're at the point where you've gotten past the 50, by the way, 50 on the board, 2 deliveries remaining in over number 8. So you only have another 56 to score off of all of 74 balls.
Oh, wow. Malanta just plays that pickup beautifully well.
Lovely shot to bring up the 50 partnership. Maybe a little bit too close and too straight to Lahir Malanta. You bowl at his body at your peril. He's very strong on the leg side and just pivoting. Not a full-blooded pull shot, just helping it over the leg side. That angle from around the wicket assists in him playing that shot, and you can pick that off all day if you're Lahir Malanta.
He's got so much time on his hands. He plays the ball so late. That if you're slightly and fractionally off on your line, pounces. Picks out backward point. Can you believe it?
Tell you what, well, the previous shot was a bad line and it resulted in 4. This for me is a much better line outside the line of off stump. Catcher in position and a straightforward catch just to his right at backward point. Traveling probably not nearly as fast or as hard as Lahir Malanta can play those shots. And I think he'll want to have that one back. That's one that you either elevate over the top of that player or you keep it down. Did neither, just finding backward point with a pretty simple, a soft dismissal. Disappointing for Lahir Malanta. That's the second wicket. 55 for 2 at the end of the over. We'll see the replay here again.
Like you said, just wasn't really committed either way. And now it means that a new man comes out. Ahad Malik, the hero of yesterday's game for the Atlanta Fire, 55 for 2 at the close of 8. Had an unbeaten half century yesterday. Really teed off in chasing a total down. He'll have to do it yet again today.
The advantage for him, Ahad Malik, is that much of the hard work has already been done. The top 2 wickets, not absolutely thrilled that those wickets have fallen, but you're more than halfway toward the target, and you're only needing to score a little more than 4 runs and over. You can score 4 runs and over in your sleep in modern day cricket. And so you just have to tell yourself, look, we pick up 4 singles and over, we win this game inside the 19th over. You know, throw in a couple of wides, maybe a bad ball here or there that gets hit for 4. But the job is to simply just be positive without being reckless. Singles alone can win you this game.
How important now is Anstave's wicket? You've put him down. You got unlucky once, you would say. You take his wicket, 2 new bats, a whole new ball game.
You've gotten, as you said, a life. Difficult catch, but definitely one that at this level you expect to be taken. And then, what do you do with that life is the question. And how do you go on and push on from your good fast start, 29 from 26? Do you maintain that level of aggression that you have now? Or do you maybe downshift a little bit and just make sure that, again, with only 4 runs and over to get, that you can just go ahead and just keep picking up singles and winning this game?
Well, Ahad Malik is very much an individual who likes to run. He'll get himself into some real funky scenarios trying to push for 2s. So expect more running to come. And that should steady that pressure after the fall of wicket of Malanta.
You like seeing that huge stride forward, getting to the pitch, making sure that the footwork is all in tune, and making sure that whatever you do, you don't allow that delivery to get past you. Ball turning away from you, so it's to your advantage to get all the way to the pitch. And you saw evidence of it being done there by Ahad Malik.
Given. Devay can't believe it, but Tajinder Singh is brought through the breakthrough.
Want to see on the replay here to see what umpire Ihsan Moulay saw, but from our angle here, man, that height-wise, it appears to me to be hitting the top of the stumps. Let's see what we can pick up on this angle. So the only question would be whether or not it was going down. Tajinder Singh didn't think so. Neither did umpire Ihsan Moulay. So that is wicket number 3. As they say, Aman, 1 brings 2. And another wicket here. Maybe it brings a slight wobble to the batting order of the Atlanta Fire.
57 for 3. Yeah, that wobble you mentioned brings out Sunny Patel. So interesting that they've elected to go to the captain. Here's another look. Here's why he's in. It's definitely hit him in the back of that leg. Again, our angle slightly off center, but if he's making that stride across to off stump, then there's definitely a case that that's going to hit middle and leg.
No question. And the other thing to do is watch for the keeper. If the keeper is going all the way down the leg side, then you know that that ball is probably slipping down. He was not going in that direction, Shine Jahangir. So all of that to me adds up at minimum to the idea or to the eventuality of that ball hitting the leg stump.
There's Jamar Hamilton just getting back to the dugout. He would have been getting some treatment. And now he'll have to go and put the pads on. So maybe that's the reason that Sunny Patel is out there. Maybe not by plan, but by circumstance.
Now, the situation that you would like, if you're Jamar Hamilton, is to come in with about, I don't know, 30, 40 runs to get, and then you go crazy and hit a few sixes and be done with this game in a couple of overs. Don't think it's quite going to go like that, though.
Little misfield there. Sunny Patel, though, he's a very capable bat in Major League Cricket. MI New York actually really rate him with the bat. They bat him right there in the middle as a leg spinner. And here in minor league cricket, he's very proficient. Remember, for a season, was the captain of the Atlanta Lightning and actually come and bat at number 4, number 5 pretty consistently. So not an unusual place to see Sunny Patel.
Well, as captain, he has to grab the bull by the horns, lead from the front, all of the cliches that you want to throw at the captain, but he knows that this partnership is important. You also know that you have a very big cushion. Again, a very fast start from the opener, not both openers, but you certainly had a good partnership for the second wicket of 53. And currently, you just have to maintain that aggression without being reckless. Make sure that you just keep pushing on toward that target. That is the end of over number 9, 58 for 3.
or seam from the south end of the ground. All that's required from Patel and Malik here is this against Asif Mahmood. There's no pressure to put boundaries on the board.
None whatsoever. Going into over number 10 now. And again, you've had your primary spin bowlers, Shanjai Suri and Kashif Bhatti, open the bowling. They've each had 2 overs remaining. Usman Khan bowled 1. He still has 3. But you know that you have to get through a few overs of of pace. And so you can do worse than having Ehsan Adil and Asif Mahmood to bowl. But in the circumstances where you are now, you absolutely need one of them to stand up and be counted here.
And this is a situation that suits both of these batters. They're not, at least in Sunny Patel's case, he's not the most explosive individual, but he'll go at 100 strike rate and then can operate the odd boundary. Malik likes to take his time to get in. His first 10 to 15 deliveries are usually singles, and then he'll start to bring out the sweeps and the reverse sweeps and the wide repertoire he has. No ball. Oversteps, and Sunny Patel have a free swing.
Oh, if all the things that you do not need, this is the one you do not need the most. He's protesting, but I don't think you're going to get umpire Ravi Balasubramaniam to overrule his own call. And this should tell the story. What is the version of the protest? I'm exactly not sure what the complaint would be. And he's still out there protesting. The replay there shows clearly that he was overstepping by, from me, probably 1.5 inches, not a whole lot. But something has to come down behind that line, and certainly not the case here from Asif Mahmood.
Free hit now for Sunny Patel. Nearly. The odd bounce probably saved Sunny Patel the thought. I think he made it home, but good effort at long off.
Certainly good effort. Free hit doesn't necessarily hurt you, but the extra run and the extra ball does. And so when you're defending a really small total, and again, you only need another 45 runs with 7 wickets in hand, 63 balls in which to get them. That, to me, is a situation that requires absolute discipline from your bowlers. You cannot give up any extras, particularly not no balls.
Shift in the field here. There's left-hander on strike, so they've asked him to go big through mid-wicket and cow corner to the bigger end of the ground.
Right.
Beautifully timed, you have to say, Brian. Haven't seen too many timed better than that today.
That's a good-looking shot. That is the prettiest shot that you'll see for no run. Good high front arm punched into the offside from Ahad Malik. Wanting to make sure that he keeps doing that, though. Maybe you open the face just a little bit to get it wide of that fielder short extra cover.
No fielder there. Fielder in the deep had been pushed so far up. That's what I was confused by. Because Mahmood likes to bang it in, that fielder just feels well too straight, Jayasuriya.
Not only is he too straight, I wouldn't mind seeing Jayasuriya about half, and I think they may have heard us here because Jayasuriya is now dropping back. I would suspect that he dropped back to about 3/4 of the way. Now, that does leave a huge gap. There's a straightish mid-wicket, almost like a wideish mid-on, but there's a big gap of about maybe a 40-degree slice on the leg side where you can get runs if you'd like, if you are Ahad Malik.
They've brought in the third and sent back long on as well. Close at 10. It's 64 for 3.
It's over.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tariq Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Welcome back. We got a game on our hands right now. It's getting very interesting here. Atlanta Fire 64 with a loss of 3 after 10. Stallions X trying to pull themselves back into this.
And they're going to try first with Tajender Singh. Right arm off spinner. My apologies. It's not going to be Tajender Singh. It is going to be Kashif Bhatti. He's bowled 2 overs so far. Now bowling over number 11, his third. Left arm orthodox.
You'll remember Bhatti earlier on conceded just 8 runs in his 2 overs. It's been a tough day for batters. Malik, as you saw earlier with the beautiful dot ball shot that he played, he looks like he's in good form. He came out of yesterday. He was absolutely tremendous yesterday, the player of the match.
So what Ahad Malik needs to understand, and it is clear that he does, is that you do not need to be a superhero today. There will be other opportunities, maybe yesterday being one, where you need to be a superhero, need to put that cape on. Here, you need a pedestrian 4.24 and over.
Definitely going down the leg a little bit there.
And so there, the moral of the story is you work it into the gaps. You pick the 1s up and you pick the 2s up when they present themselves. Punish the bad balls if you get them. But my goodness, this is relatively straightforward. And you will know that under these circumstances, just normal, proper, aggressive, when I say aggressive, I mean positive cricket wins you this game.
Talked about all the finger spin options the Stallions X team has from pretty much from both sides. You got the lefty-righty batting partnership up there. I think that's working very well in Atlanta Fire's favor right now. And this is the thing, just rotate strike. There's no pressure right here. You don't want to give yourself pressure by staying pinned. And that's the end of the over. The Fire 68 from 3. Hey, there we are. Just a beautiful day here at the Paramount Cricket Complex. Brian, we've had some wonderful weather when the game's been on.
When the game's been on, as I said earlier, a fair amount of rain last night. I think that you will have seen that the ground staff did an amazing job to be able to get this game underway. A little bit of trickiness in the pitch, but makes for, I think, a really exciting close to this match. Maybe a little premature to be talking about close to the match. Tajender Singh coming in now to bowl his 3rd over.
He's taken the 1 wicket for 7 runs in his 2 overs so far. So he's been very effective. And this is who he's in there for, the lefty, Ahad Malik.
Let's go, gentlemen.
We talked about rotating strike and the importance of that. Malik likes to run. He will get off to a start immediately. And if he doesn't, there you go. He stands his ground.
Scoring at the rate of just over a run a ball throughout the innings. 68 runs on the board, so you have, after that dot ball, another 52 balls to face, but just 39 runs needed to get. So you've already exceeded the scoring rate that you need, based mostly on that 2nd wicket partnership for 53.
Straight. Shehan can't get to it. It's 4 runs.
It's an interesting shot. He went onto the back foot to play that shot, Ahad Malik, so his weight was definitely going back when he played it, but he just muscles it down the ground. He gets it straight enough that Shehan Jayasuriya over at Long On could not get to it. So good piece of work. Maybe a little bit of, I don't know whether or not pressure was building, but you certainly want to be able to see that happen.
Still to come, Atlanta have plenty of firepower on the bench. I want to take this partnership as deep as they possibly can. Yesterday, we saw Zishan Maksud batting in this position that Sonny's in. And it with a dot, only 4 on the over, but not very far to go, only 35 needed. 72 were a loss of 3 after 12.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tarik Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
So looking back to the first innings after 11, Stallions X were 72 with a loss of 1. They lost 9 wickets from that point until the second ball of the 20th over. So anything can happen here.
You're exactly right. And as long as we're looking back to the first innings when the Stallions X were batting at the end of over number 12, they had 76 runs. 72 here, so slightly behind in terms of the pace that was set by the Stallions X, but my goodness, what a big collapse that you just referenced. And so you can't really use that as a guideline to state where exactly the team should be. Going around the leg side here, should be a couple of runs down the line.
You can see Malik runs so well, gets back for 3 on that.
Wow.
He was halfway to the third run before Sonny had all the way turned around.
You certainly get that 3 runs. That's not easy under these circumstances. Boy, it's a gift from God too, because again, you just need ones and you get 3 in one delivery. A little bit of a loose delivery going down the leg side from Usman Khan.
Once again, this one will just be 2.
So this time, the left-handed Ahad Malik playing the reverse sweep, going down the legs, or what would have been his offside, but play the reverse sweep. So essentially, he's playing it as a right-handed sweeping on the leg side. So 5 runs from the first 2 balls here. A good positive start to the over.
Usman went for 11 in his first over. This one 5 so far off of 3. So a bit expensive in this context. This one will be hit safely. It's going to roll away for 4 runs. A big over.
Once again, the reverse sweep. And it got off the previous shot, went for a couple. This time he hits it a little bit finer and gets it a little bit further away from the fielder, running back from short third for another boundary. So you've gotten to the point now where there's just 26 runs needed. Feels like the pressure that had been building in the last 2 or 3 overs, for the most part, has been alleviated with this fast start to over number 13.
Only 26 needed right now. You just need to keep it ticking over. 2 balls left in the over that's already going for 9. Straight. And well struck. It'll just be 2.
So a couple more runs, 11 from the over so far. My goodness, if you're looking at 4s to win the match and you concede 11 from 5 balls, that certainly puts you in the driver's seat. Just another 24 needed now.
Over the fielder. They're going to get 2 again. Big over here for Atlanta Fire. Takes all the pressure off. 13 from it. 85 for 3. The only thing busier than this facility might be the road next to us.
Well, yesterday when we were playing on the westernmost pitch number 1, a lot more conducive to pace bowling, and as they say, the harder it came, the harder it went. A lot of balls ending up across the street, going across Highway 411. Rashawn Primus and a couple of other big names, Daniel Lamb being another, who put the ball out there a few times.
I was very happy to see Rashawn Primus's name in this tournament. He is so much fun to watch. He hits the ball miles. He bowls fast and aggressively.
Yes. Well, he's built like a middle linebacker. That's the first thing.
He's built like a middle linebacker back when there was a lot of running.
Just over 3 and over needed now, so we alluded to it a couple of times. The pressure pretty much has all been taken off. This partnership just now building. It's up to 29. And it's Kashif Bhatti who's bowling his last over number 14. Starting to run out of options here, Stallions X.
This will be the second time where the Fire have gone through kind of a tricky batting situation. And with Malik leading the way, he's really factored in today. You see Sonny with the helmet off right there, both of them with the helmets off. This is how you build a brand. You got to let everyone see your face. Caught. What a great catch. But is it too late?
Well, it's a great catch. Some of the most difficult catches to take are flat toward you in the outfield. And this probably never got more than 20 feet in the air. Sinking as it got to Tajinder Singh in the deep, but he took it around maybe knee height, going to the ground to complete the catch. And for me, that is a great catch. Well judged. And wicket number 4, partnership broken. Partnership worth 30 for the 4th wicket. As you said, is this a little bit too late?
Well, it was very well taken and very well cushioned after the catch with a nice roll, nice controlled roll. And here comes pup Jamar Hamilton. And we are used to seeing him coming out to the middle at this type of phase and just blasting it.
I said earlier that right after Jamar Hamilton got off of the trainer's table, that the perfect scenario for him would be to come in with about 30 runs remaining and then just throw his bat. I was off by about 20 runs, 10 runs rather, it's just 20 runs needed. But Jamar Hamilton is the type of batter who can finish this game in about 5 or 6 balls. And you don't necessarily have to do that here, but I don't know that he's going to curb his natural aggression for the moment.
You do have 6 wickets in hand, but we saw a bunch of them fall quickly in the first innings. Maybe he'll give himself a couple of balls before he gives it a go. Always fun to watch. We saw him in the field today, usually with the gloves, but throwing himself all around the ground. And that was some authoritative cut shot there. Get 2 from that.
Well played. So you don't have to be ultra aggressive, and maybe you don't want to do it to the left-handed finger spinner Kashif Bhatti. This is going to be his last ball, so there's no reason to take him on in the deep on the leg side, because then you'd be hitting against the turn. But that cut shot, exactly what you need under these circumstances.
Well, this is gone for sure. You might not want to take him on, but maybe you do.
Wow. Huge hit down the ground. Absolutely straight as an arrow. That brings up the 95th run. Just another 2 of those, and this game is finished. Nate Hayes, end of over number 14, 95 for 4.
Look at where that one landed. A good 12 yards over the line. And Malik is pleased, as are we, to see Jamar Hamilton in good form. Well, this is what he did in the minor league cricket final on Sunday. Came in and just scored a nice little cameo. He did it all through the Super 8. See our cameraman over there. We have such a great crew here today, Oman.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, the pictures and the entire coverage. On a bright sunny day like today, he's got to put something over the display monitor. Got to follow that ball at all costs.
Now, Tajinder will take a go at the left-handed Malik. Malik 21 from 21 right now. Yesterday was the player of the match. Helping the Fire on a difficult surface over there on field 5 yesterday. Chased down what looked like a pretty big target of 151, considering the conditions. He just did what he's done today.
Yeah, when you look at the Atlanta Fire and you look at the individuals that they play, so many different guys can stand up and be stars. And so far, Ahad Malik has been the star with the bat in hand for the Atlanta Fire through their first 2 games.
And he absolutely has been. And he'll turn this one around the corner, and he'll race away for 4 runs as well. As this game's getting shorter and shorter. 99 right now.
And it's just his ability to, again, find gaps in relatively easy fashion. Doesn't have to take too much risk. And on that shot there, again, it's just a swivel. Slightly short, slightly the wrong line, no one a deep backward square, and uses the pace of Tajinder Singh to his advantage.
Just played so smart the last couple of days. Been a real team effort here for the Atlanta Fire. Everybody taking a wicket in the first innings. They've gotten the partnerships when they've needed them in the second.
Especially after the shaky start that they got off to. Remember, you lose Rishi Pandey early. You thought, oh boy, this is a game. This is a game. You know, the Kingsmen have plenty of bowlers. Excuse me, the Stallions have plenty of bowlers up their sleeve. And the recovery attempt from Ansh Dave, from Sunny Patel, from Ahad Malik have been quite brilliant.
This one gets through as Jamar takes a whale of a whack at it. And 100 is up there after 15 overs. 100 for 4, only 7 needed. See a healthy attempt at that one from Jamar Hamilton. He comes up with air. Getting some turn and bounce.
Shirad Lumba gonna try his arm and try his exploits. Surprised to not have seen him bowl at this point yet.
Yeah, it is a bit surprising. He's been quite good with the ball in minor league. It's well placed, straight. Just going to go for 2 as Jamar hustles back hard. And Malik has found a willing running partner for sure in Jamar Hamilton.
Yeah, when you play with Ahad Malik, you're going to have to run, and you're going to have to run hard. There's no question you sign up knowing that, but luckily Jamar Hamilton is so quick between the stumps in his own right. Again, I thought Lumba would have had the ball by now. You got a lot of lefties on play. You have a pitch that is aiding the spinners, and you have someone who's very smart. Now you have just 5 runs left to get. It just feels too little too late.
Yeah, you're right. We've seen so many times Farhad Lumba call his own number as the captain of that Baltimore Royals team in minor league. And he's bowling with some tremendous spinners in that bowling attack. He gives them so many options with his ability to bowl, you know, as many as 4 overs in innings. That's the quality that he brings.
And yes, obviously there's so many bowling options on the Stallions X squad. You mentioned the ones that have bowled. Your Jaisarias, your Kashyap Bhardis, Osman Khalid, Ehsan Adil, Asif Mahmood, and Tajinder Singh. But you would have thought that you could have just snuck in 1 over of Lumba early. Just give yourself more spinners, create more pressure. He's terrific with the new ball as well. The amount of drift that he can get, and really it's just seam up, swing. It just feels like a missed opportunity for the Stallions. X.
Tomorrow, watch this. It's a wide. We're inching closer and closer to the finish line.
Catch it!
And Jamar wants to cross that finish line on this ball, and they will. 4 runs. Atlanta Fire chased it down in 15.4.
Done.
And these two were terrific, but Malik, what a job he did there for the team, guiding them through these difficult overs.
Yeah, run a ball 29, quite brilliant. And again, I don't think that his contributions can go understated, especially just given the fact that he, again, played with so much maturity in a situation that just got a bit more pressuresome.
And what about the youngster, Dave? How good was he with the bat, too? Pouncing on anything loose. The bowling side here did quite good for Atlanta Fire as well. Everybody taking a wicket.
And the Fire, again, get to cruise to victory here. And this will be a huge game because it would almost guarantee them that bye in this weekend's matchup in these weekend tournaments. So you look at the Atlanta Fire with the bat. Again, Ahad Malik, 29 off 29, coupled with Ansh Devez, 29. The big keys there in chasing this total down and keeping things in the right direction. Shout out Lehido Malanta for just being able to steady the ship at one end as well. But with the ball, Nate, it just never felt that the Stallions X were quite in the game.
Just never really felt like they had the right combination out there. Shihan looked pretty good, took a wicket. Bhati with a wicket, Tajinder Singh, Asif Mahmood, but not the right combinations. A lot of that had to do with the lefty-righty batting partnerships that we had. It really made it difficult to know who to attack. And Atlanta Fire did just such a great job navigating those difficult innings.
And it means also there's some less pressure now going into their second game of the day. They'll have another game to play, and they'll be able to just breathe a sigh of relief knowing that they've claimed a win early and, again, almost guaranteed that bye. Brian Walters, he's somewhere around. He's got Cheyenne Jaisaria with him, and we'll have a listen to him.
Here with the captain of Stallions X, Shayan Jahangir. A little bit less pleasant conversation today versus yesterday because your team finished second today. Where in your mind did you fall short?
I think we lacked a few runs. I think having a few wickets, more than 8 wickets in hand in the last 10 overs. I think if we played proper cricket, I think we would have finished at 140, 145, and that's always a very good total on this kind of wicket when it's ripping and spinning through the 20 overs. So I think our batters need to assess and play to the situation and get some runs to make it easy for the bowlers as well.
Talk about that, because in our mind the wicket looked to be very tricky, but you got off to a fast start. You had what was adjudged to have been a 4 but was actually a 6. Doesn't matter in the big context of this game, it doesn't matter, but you got to a fast start, and again you were 72 for 1 with I think maybe 9.5 overs left, so that collapse probably hurt you a little bit.
Yes, for sure, the collapse hurt us a little bit. The guys who were in the middle, they are big game players. They capture their moments whenever they get the opportunity, but today wasn't their day for them, but hopefully they can rock back in the second game of the day and deliver.
Now, you did build yourself a pretty nice platform yesterday because you won inside 12 overs, so you had a massive, or you have a massive net run rate advantage. How much does that matter the rest of the tournament?
We're gonna assess in the end. It's still 2 more games left for us. We're gonna go 1 game first and then see what happens tomorrow, what the situation is on the table. But right now we're just trying to play good cricket and win the game of cricket.
Best of luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Back to you in the studio.
Great to hear from Cheyenne Jahangir and Brian Walters. Nate, this was a game that, again, you felt that the Fire were ahead of straight away.
Yeah, everybody kind of did a little bit here for the Fire. None of the numbers are going to stick out to you, but yeah, the Fire had control of it right away.
Except for this kind of one moment. The Rishi Pandey wicket early was huge, but Ansh Dave came in and absolutely dominated. A couple big sixes, a couple boundaries. It allowed Lahiru Malanta to settle into the game, and I think his 29 runs were so crucial because, again, he's a young kid who could have easily faulted, but instead he's able to build a partnership with the stylish left-hander.
Anytime you have a U21 who can come in and make a difference like Dave did, it's definitely a huge plus for your team. It gives you a really good chance to win. We saw him wallop a couple, just absolutely smashed anything that he could get his bat on. And obviously, Lahiru, what a great partnership that was.
Yeah, again, Lahiru was brilliant, started to find his way into some gears and took advantage of some of the sloppiness from the seamers of Stallions X. This was the for sure shout from Ihsan Adil that was given not out. That would have been the big question, but then get some back-to-back deliveries with a shout. Again, they were challenging. They were into an area, but it was all about what the Fire were doing with the bat. And Lahiru Malanta looked absolutely brilliant again just as he settled in. But as he got going, picked up backward point, and then Ansh Dave goes right after. And it was off to Captain Sunny Patel and Ahad Malik to ease the tension. And again, those mistakes just kept piling on top of the Stallions X.
Yeah, when you're trying to defend a low total, you can't really have extras. Malik, once again, he was brilliant yesterday, and today he really did the job, did everything that they needed him to do to get him over the line. See this wonderful catch here.
And then Jamar Hamilton comes in and does what he does best. A couple of boundaries to close things out alongside the Ahad Malik, and that partnership carried the Fire over the line, and seemingly they will feel very comfortable in their positioning. Now, Brian Walters, he's got the entire committee stationed with him. Let's go over to him and see what he's got.
Don't know if it's the entire committee, but we have a 2-for-1 special. We have the player of the match, Zishan Maksud, and coach Monte Desai. Zishan Maksud, congratulations being player of the match. So, Mr. Maksud, you said no hard questions. I'll give you any hard ones. I'll ask you this. Tell me about the pitch and how much it suited your type of bowling.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank management, the Atlanta Fire. They gave me the opportunity to showcase my skills. Definitely, this my hometown. I play here whole season, so I know that wickets kind of suits my bowling. So I just bowl a little tight. I don't want to give air, so that is helping me right now.
I'll ask you one more question. You look like you don't want to answer. Let me ask you this. Because you said it's your home ground, the Stallions X, when they were batting, they were 72 for 1. But your spinners essentially took the game away from them.
Yeah, because we are strict to our plans. We don't want to bowl, loose ones. So, with the fielding, with every, the plan we got from the coach, and the captain, we just want to apply that. So we just bowl tight, and they just give us the wickets. Simple.
Nice and easy. Yeah. Good talking to you, Zishan. Back to you. Oh, in fact, wait, before we do that, we're going to call over somebody who has a pretty big smile on his face. You are the winning captain, sir. Tell me about how you feel, particularly as it relates to the fact that you were able to chase down a total that was not necessarily difficult, but tricky.
Yeah, morning games over here are a bit tricky. Wicket was still on the softer side, but our batsmen applied. As we bowled in the first inning, so we knew that we should be able to chase it down, wait for the ball a little bit more, and then we can score runs more squarer.
Now, having said that, your spin attack, saw it in Morrisville this past weekend, your spin attack is dominant. How important is it for you all to be able to have that attack on this wicket?
Yeah, this wicket is actually on the slower side, and it's a good wicket for spinners throughout the day. So, and credit goes to all the players because they're coming off from a long season. They didn't get any break, but still pulling up this performance in this continuous games. It's heads off to them.
Last question for you. By the way, I didn't think I said his name. Sunny Patel, captain of Atlanta Fire. You are now in a good position as far as the group stages are concerned. What are your objectives going into the next couple of matches?
No, we'll just play the game the way it is played. We'll just try and win all the games and go through the playoffs with the winning combinations.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That is Sunny Patel, captain of the team. The Atlanta Fire taking victory here in pretty straightforward fashion. Join us for the second match later on this afternoon. In the meantime, there are several matches going on around at the Atlanta Open. Join us on the YouTube channel. In fact, if you're watching this now, you probably have access to that channel. Just find the other matches that are going on. Lots of cricket the rest of the way. For the moment, signing off here from field number 1 in the, Paramvera Sports Complex. See you shortly.